What's going on, people? Welcome to DR Sports and welcome to Game Day Live. It is the big one. It is the 12:30 kickoff where West Ham are hosting Chelsea at the London Stadium. I am joined by Arsenal fan Nick. What are you doing here? What's happening?
I'm always here, man. Call me out for any occasion. Do you know what I mean? Say what it is.
Any of the, well, we say rivals, but any of the teams that we kind of don't mind losing, you know what I mean? Got to come through, got to come through. And obviously, big West Ham fan, Dan, what are you saying, man?
Yeah, mate, I'm pumped for the game. Obviously, Chelsea fans not so pumped. They're nervous. That's why they haven't shown up today. So I'm ready. I'm ready for this game.
Feeling confident, look at beaming smile, ready, confident.
I don't like feeling confident. I always feel nervous.
This season.
Yeah, when I feel confident, it makes me nervous, right? Yeah. When I feel nervous, I feel comfortable. It don't make sense, but it makes sense to me.
Well, we're going to get into it. Let's get straight to the teams. The team news obviously is out. We are about 25 minutes away from kickoff. Let's start with your beloved West Ham. Actually, you want to take us through the team?
Yeah, okay. So we got Fabianski in goal. Areola's been injured. I really want to see him start, but he's injured. Agard, Ogbonna and Kura in that back three. Emerson left wing back. We got Soufal right wing back, and you got Rice and Paqueta in the middle. Ben Rama on the left, Bowen on the right, and Antonio up front.
Happy with that starting lineup? Strong enough for you?
Yeah, I think it's the best lineup we can possibly put out now. Kura was supposed to be rumoured to be injured, but he's back in it. And it seems to be this back three, back five seems to be working right now. I weren't a big fan of it early on, but he's persistent with it more. We kept changing from 4 to 3 constantly, but now after I see the Newcastle game and some of the other results, it's ticking. So I'm happy with it.
You can see it. Yeah, I think with Skamaka being injured so much as well, man. Like there was so much kind of expectancy on him to see how he would do and stuff like that, but it's just been injuries to the point where look, even Antonio obviously didn't go. He didn't go in the in the January transfer window as well, even with Ings coming in, but then he got injured. And it's actually back to the striker that you've always had there, Antonio.
Yeah, exactly. And Skamaka, you can see he is a quality player. I love watching him play, but we didn't really play to his strengths. Then he's been injured in and out of the team. And Antonio just hasn't really been lighting the league on fire this season. And but we've got to go with him. Like I said, Ings, as soon as he comes in, apparently he didn't get injured his whole time at Aston Villa. Comes to West Ham straight away injured.
But before that, he has had a lot of injuries, obviously.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
So, but I hear you did think it was like beyond him again, like he's got past that, but hasn't really been the case. Let's get into the Chelsea team. We'll talk about that, and then we'll all talk about it, and then obviously go through the game. We've got Kepa in goal. They've gone with a back four. They've got Reece James in the squad. They've got Silva, who's just signed a new deal till 2024 as well. Just keeps going. Yeah, he's unbelievable at that age. Badia Shields, I think he's a really good young centre back, and Cucurella at left back. They've gone with Loftus-Cheek, Enzo Fernandez, Madueke, João Felix, Mudryk, and Havertz. So a very, very strong Chelsea team. New look front line for Chelsea. Yep. João Felix straight back in there. Let's talk about him, actually. Yep. Straight back in after, obviously, that 3-game absence when he got the red card against Fulham. What do you feel? How do you think he's going to do in this?
He looked really good before the red card.
He did.
He's one of the better ball players. They've lacked a bit of finesse. They've got with Mudryk. I know Sterling's not starting, but with those two out wide, they have huge amounts of pace. And Felix is someone that can he's so versatile. Obviously, it looks like maybe Havertz is going to play up top. I don't know how they're going to line up exactly because they do tend to occupy the same kind of space. They're both striker / false nine. But that flexibility, I think, will be really, really useful for them. It'll be really difficult for, I think, the West Ham defensive line to pick them up because they're just going to be moving all over the place. So it could work, or they could get in each other's way and occupy the same spaces. But we'll see what happens.
And also Madueke coming in as well. He looked good coming off the bench, and he also looks like a good young player coming in from PSV as well. It's going to be interesting to see how he is as well. I think he's done well in his early career to move out to a foreign country, back himself, gets his move to the Premier League as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big test, I think, now, coming into Chelsea for a lot of these players. This is the big move. This is a chance where they get to prove themselves. And it's just ridiculous. I just look at this and the players that they've brought in a January transfer window. I still can't believe it. For a club to do that, in a January transfer window.
What are you saying? They're next to get investigated?
They have
You know
to
what I mean?
be. How
Not just-
can this happen? How can this happen? Like, there's got to be some sort of investigations. But Arteta needs to ring up that secret number that he called for Man City. And
So people in the chat, someone said to me, Flex, do you really think this is a big game? This is just mid-table. I think this is just a mid-table clash, to be honest. Well, West Ham aren't mid-table.
No.
They need to make sure that they start winning some points to make sure that they're not at the wrong end of the table.
I'll tell you why it's a
how you
big
feeling
game.
about it?
Both managers are facing pressure, and Potter, even though he's you look at it, and you know, to borrow a word from the Arsenal fans, you know, it's a process. He's early into the process, right? It's the pressure's starting to build on him. He's just spent all of this money. If they don't win, serious questions going to be asked about him. Moyes has obviously been under pressure. Teams around us picking up points left, right, and centre against big teams. We have to win now. There's a lot at stake in this game. That's why it's a big game.
I hear you on that.
And with all the money
the
money that Chelsea have spent, they're under huge amounts of pressure to do everything they can to make it into Europe in any way possible. So every game for them is still, even though it is a mid-table clash on paper, they do really have to try to get into Europe as much as possible. Otherwise, some of these deals just are not gonna financially pan out.
We talked made a bit of a joke about the FFP, but obviously Champions League money counterbalances a bit that spend, you know.
Yeah.
And if they're not in Europe, that's money they're losing out. But they've got these big wages. Obviously, they're paying to all of these new signings,
long contracts.
The big outlays, long contracts. They're going to want to spend again in the summer. It's crucial for them to try and get into the Champions League. And
with what they've done, like you're saying, it's got to work. Like when you got players on 8-year contracts and that, it's insane. Like if that doesn't work and that player's like, after 18 months, this ain't for me, mate. I can't settle. I'm not happy. Or they do exceptionally well, and maybe there's a move. You know what football's like. Anything can happen. That is difficult to shift players. I'm speaking from a Man United perspective, where we've signed loads of players on big deals, big money, and can't shift them.
Look at Ziyech and players like that they've got currently. The current players that have signed, the Ziyech's and the Havertz's, that haven't worked out. Now imagine it happens with these players.
Yeah, exactly.
This could be make or break for their club. Because if these players flop, boy, they're in a bad way for a long time.
And then to your point, what you said about the manager, they don't have a manager that has experience in these types of scenarios. Do you know what I mean? Potter doesn't have that level of experience with players on these types of wages, contracts, all that kind of big egos maybe.
Yeah, 100%.
He hasn't come from that.
But also on the flip side, though, to give the positive side, there are going to be Chelsea fans in the chat. We've got to talk about both sides. That's the negative side of if it capitulates and doesn't work. But when you look at the team that actually they are potentially constructing, I think you would be hating if you said they haven't invested in some very exciting players that actually, on the other side of the coin, if this works, they've got the basis for an amazing team. I look at, obviously, Reece James coming back into the fold, who's been a massive, massive miss. They've still got Ben Chilwell to come back. You look at Badia Shields. I remember seeing him linked with top clubs for the last couple of transfer windows for a massive amount. And that amount came right down, which is fantastic for them. They finally managed to get Enzo Fernandez. Now, don't get me wrong. At Benfica for a relatively short time, smashed the World Cup. I was there, watched him, really, really good. Question marks about him, about the longevity of can he do it, but there's something there. He's very exciting. João Felix, man, he's a player I've liked on a personal for a long time. I think outside of that Simeone team, I think he just needed the shackles to be lifted off him, playing a more progressive team, a more attacking team. He's there.
Looked quality in his debut as well.
Looked unbelievable. He looked like Messi.
Up until that stupid tackle, though.
Yeah, and then obviously moment of madness, lost it. But then and Mudryk. Mudryk was Arsenal. There's a reason why and from an Arsenal perspective,
quite comfortable.
Arsenal don't. With this new model they've got,
outlay that kind of
they
money.
don't outlay that money, and they wanted him. The bid was there, just in a different format. So as an Arsenal fan, but looking at that with what we're talking about, them building a team and on Mudryk, how do you see that?
I mean, it's one of the positives and the respect that I have to give them is that they're not doing what maybe Man United did of going for marquee players. I know they're making the marquee signings with the fees that they're paying, but they are young, exciting players, and so they are looking at building something for the future.
Exactly.
So that's what makes you think maybe Potter gets some time. They still have talks of Nkuku coming in in the summer.
No, he's done. That's done.
So Nkuku getting added to that mixture as well. I mean, they should have a team that can score. What's scary about them is they should have a team that can score goals everywhere across the pitch, rather than just a focal number 9 that's going to get the majority of their goals. I still think that maybe they'll need the right manager to handle all of that, because it will be a lot of chaos. And
that's probably the biggest question mark, isn't it? What is Graham Potter going to be like as he builds this team?
Bringing us back to this game, that's what every single game that they play, even if they are in 10th position or whatever the case may be. Obviously, we know Moyes is under pressure, but every game is going to be a rehearsal for his job for next season again and again and again, because Todd Boehly will just keep adding new players. If somebody doesn't, I don't know if he's going to do the Man United or the Arsenal thing of waiting to ship out dead wood before he brings new players in. If somebody's not performing, he'll just keep bringing players in. So everything is a dress rehearsal for Graham Potter for next season, and see if he can, stay in this job.
That's why he has to figure out his best team, his best formation, and run with that. Obviously,
the injuries they've had, that's what's actually stopped him being able to do that, isn't it?
It does, but this is where you go to Reece James, and I look at it, for him,
He's
this
getting
is
stronger now,
make or break, because he is quality, but his injury record is horrendous. And if he gets injured again this season, they need to start looking past Reece James, because you can't rely on that. We've all had them players that are just, they can't stay fit.
I think because he's come through the academy, it's
I was going to say, he's like a franchise player.
Exactly. And actually, to see Chelsea, Mason Mount's not in this team. He is on the bench. But he's another one who's come through that, that Cobham youth setup and done really well. Loftus-Cheek's another one who...
Gallagher from there as well.
And it's like, he's another one with injury problems, where you're looking at, can he kickstart his career? What was it? Loan moves at Palace? Fulham.
Yeah.
He's gone to try and get some football and try and get some consistency, come back to Chelsea, and it just hasn't happened for him. He still hasn't... I still don't think his career's ignited like the forecast said it should.
Also hasn't carved out a position. We see him play centre mid sometimes. We see him deployed right wing back sometimes. He hasn't really carved out a position in this team to say, right, this is my position, this is where I play, and I think that's going to go against him as well.
I think he needs a move personally. I think he needs to
play
move
somewhere regular,
to play somewhere else here, regular, be one of the main players and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't think this is
because he's not young anymore.
Yeah, no, he's not a kid. He's not a youth prospect anymore. No, exactly. On to your team. I know you touched a little bit about your starting 11, but I want to ask you about David Moyes and West Ham's direction, the feeling amongst the fans, how much pressure is on him. Do you want a change? Can he save his job? Is he safe? How do you feel about it?
Look, I've been one of Moyes' biggest critics from day one, even from the last time he was here, and he sort of won me around last couple of seasons, but I'm just looking, and use the word direction. It's the direction of the club and the way we've played. I've seen some boring football this season, and you can stomach boring football when you're winning, but when you're playing boring football when you're down in the dumps, it's horrible. And I look at the direction, and I see his comments about Paqueta. He brought in Paqueta as if he and talked about him being potentially a new Payet for us, and talked about him
highly tipped player. Arsenal was linked with Arsenal for loads. A lot of other top teams in Europe. Yeah,
no, absolutely, and he's a quality player. But he talked about him saying, "Oh, we want about 8 to 10 assists a season from him, 8 to 10 goals a season from him." He's not that player. He's look at him like he's a playmaker. It's taken him this long to figure out, oh, maybe if I play him deeper, I'll get more out of him. He was thinking he was this number 10 playmaker. That's not the sort of player he was getting. And that worries me, because that's like our
getting
record transfer.
Of that quality, but not understanding where they fit.
You're spending that much money on a player that you don't understand. So now when we go again in the summer, we want to spend more money, say, if we have to replace Declan Rice. I don't trust him to spend that money. Scamacca is another case in point. He come in, and you can see his quality, but all we're doing is just trying to whip in crosses to him like he's Andy Carroll. And the guy, he's great at holding up the ball, linking up play, he's technically gifted, and we're not playing to his strengths. So we're going to give him more money now just to sign players and do what? Just figure it out 8 months later that, okay, maybe they're better playing like this. So whatever happens for me...
I've dropped the whole iPad. The whole iPad's gone, mate.
Let me quickly grab that.
I've dropped the whole iPad. Sorry, Don Robbie. You know what I mean? It wasn't working properly anyway. You know what I mean? Sorry.
No, I don't back. Yeah. So for me, I'm at that point now. I'm kind of resigned to the fact that he's staying for now. I can't. If we sack him now, I don't know who's out there that we can get right now, unless we're in free fall. If we're really in danger and we lose our next 3, no point. So try and ride this out to the end of the season and then start fresh.
Well, that was going to be my next question, because you currently sit 17th in the league, 19 points, a point above the drop zone. Everton with Sean Dyche, you know what to expect there. We all, I think, agree on... Well, you might not, but we know what to expect.
Top manager.
Exactly. They're going to start picking up points at some point, or make it extremely difficult for the likes of Leeds, who are looking for a new manager, and yourselves. And you're looking at Bournemouth and Southampton and thinking, that's a tough ask for them. So you're looking at West Ham, Everton, Leeds, whether they get their appointment right. And, Wolves and Leicester are kind of teetering on the edge, and maybe an implosion from Forest, who seem to have stabilised. You never know.
We're the only team in the bottom 6, by the way, that haven't changed their manager.
Yeah.
Haven't sacked their manager. We're the only
Is that the right thing or the wrong thing?
I mean, time will tell, but sometimes, look, Southampton, they haven't kicked on.
They're looking,
since getting rid of Hassan Hutel. Yeah. But you look at Wolves, it's done them wonders. It looks like Everton, it could be really helping them out, Bournemouth, we'll see. They haven't really brought in quality. They've got Gary O'Neill. But, yeah.
We need to get the right appointment.
And this is what I said about Dyche, when he came in. West Ham fans were going mad at me, right? Because I looked at it and I said, that's big trouble for us, that they've got
Absolutely.
him. Because the thing is, as a manager, because they're going, Moyes achieved this, that, and the other. It's easier to go into a club and fix someone else's mess than to get out of your own mess that you've created. And that is the thing. That's why there's such thing as a new manager bounce. Because you go in and you do the easy fixes. And then all of a sudden it starts to get a reaction. You got Sean Dyche doing bleep tests and things like that. Like I used to do back in secondary school.
Yeah,
but you can see things with a fresh eye when it's not your situation. When you're completely dispassionate and you take your emotions out of it, you can see it from a different perspective. So, I think the question I want to ask you is that, where do you think that West Ham should be at the beginning of the season? Obviously, you didn't think they're going to be in the relegation zone. What did you think that they would go on to achieve, or if you were to get a new manager, where would you want to be next season?
I mean, we should be in a race for Europe. Whatever time. I mean, the Benjamin, obviously, you've got a Conference League, but I think we should be challenging for that Europa League, to get in it at least. We've been in a Champions League race for the past 2 seasons. And spending 180 million, you expect to kick on there. I'm not saying we must get Champions League, but we have to maintain our position. And I understand, a lot of the time you spend a lot of money, bring a lot of new players in. Sometimes you go backwards to go forwards. There's going backwards, and then there's just going so far back you fall off the cliff.
Yeah.
That's not, being a relegation battle is not acceptable after all of that investment.
Yeah.
So, we need to be competing for Europe season after season. Newcastle's coming again. You've got Fulham, Brighton knocking on the door. There's so much competition. Brentford, you can't afford to lose your spot. And
look at Leicester.
Leicester.
Leicester were that team that were, are they going to be the ones to gate crash the top 6 as it used to be? Yeah. And they've lost their spot, didn't reinvest, money problems, couldn't refresh the squad, and they were arguably in a relegation battle, and maybe even still could be. You never know.
Yeah.
So I just look at West Ham and I think they've come from such a high, where David Moyes has received a lot of plaudits, and rightly so, because I remember this time last year waxing lyrical about David Moyes, saying, you know what a job he's done to reinvent himself, reinvigorate his reputation, which was rock bottom. Even when he come back to West Ham, it was like, how's that going to go? Didn't start off great. And then managed to get the club, knocking on potential European finals.
Yeah.
And, you were one step away from doing that. And then the following season, gets Paquetá, and you're like, what, you flipping heck? Get Scamacca, you're like, maybe they are showing a bit of intent, and it's just gone the opposite way.
He's notoriously bad at sort of spending money and having big squads. He always done better with small squads, and last season we had I think one of the smallest squads in the league, and now he's had to spend money and expand the squad, which is squad depth was our problem last season. He's completely crumbled, and that's the problem, and that's why we can look at him and go, okay, those 2 seasons, look at what he did. But to me, it's a long-term project. You have to be able to build for the future of West Ham so that we are in there. We can have, like, rather than have like a couple of good seasons and then we're going to be down in the dumps for a few seasons, and maybe we have like a one-off good season. It's consistency, and I don't think you can do that. That's why we need to look at either, like I was saying before we recorded, top elite manager. You can't get one. Let's get a young, hungry manager, and like you said, grow with the manager.
So you don't think the fact that David Moyes did what he did for the last couple of seasons gives him the right to basically fight his way out of this?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How long do you give him for your European semi-final is something that not a lot of clubs outside that big six get to see.
Yeah, look,
literally blowing bubbles last year. You lot were in dreamland. I remember like watching a lot of you guys' stuff, seeing how happy West Ham fans were. Some were even saying, "Listen, I don't even care about getting in Europe again. Like, just win this. Like, this is amazing for West Ham fans." And everybody wanted them to do it. Like, unless you maybe support Chelsea or Tottenham or something. But everyone kind of fell in love with that story.
It feels a bit like Tottenham after the Pochettino final. You know, where it just, I don't know if it takes a lot of energy out of the team to get so close and then not, and maybe just not have that mentality.
Yeah, it's a bit of
it feels like that kind of drop off.
I think it is. Yeah, it's a bit of a downer for sure. And to me, if he would have won it, I would have let him take us down.
Where's his statue, mate?
Yeah, statue. I would have let him take us down, right? Boom. Yeah, that's all well and good to take us down. But he didn't. And you don't get to, yes, we got to a semi-final and that's great, but you don't get to take West Ham down after spending 180 million pounds.
Yeah, that's true.
Nearly 200 with...
you can't just write it off and say, that
exactly.
Yeah.
Especially with the experience that he's got. He's an experienced manager that should have, you know, if there's a young manager, Arteta's signed some players that are not as good as some other players that he signed, but we appreciate he's trying to figure things out. Moyes has been a manager in this country for a long time and should be able to identify talent.
I do agree with that. I mean, we posed you the question, but actually I agree with your answer.
And the reason why one of the reasons why we lost it, we had a chance to sign players last January. Scamacca was one of them. We had a chance to sign players. Moyes said, I want to wait till the summer. I want to make sure I get the right players in. So he left our squad threadbare, super small, waited to the summer, got the right players in, and went completely backwards. So you spent all of this time, like Samac was the first striker that he'd signed since he'd come back. Like first striker we'd signed since Allaire, you know, which is Pellegrini days. And so you took all this time to sign a striker, and you don't know how to get the best out of him, and it's not working out. I don't accept that.
And he obviously thought he was going to get Jesse Lingard, I think.
Yeah, that was a big problem.
Yeah.
He spent too long chasing Lingard.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Thiago Silva just having fun with the kids, going to shake their hand and giving it that, and then doing it back. So it just made me laugh. Carry on,
Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah, he spent way too long chasing Lingard. Way too long. And I think that cost us getting, other players and, maybe getting some of these signings in earlier in the window.
I think one thing is having the Blues after an amazing season and a bit of a come down. And then the other thing is, like we're seeing there, 17th at serious threat of going down.
Yeah.
West Ham are in a relegation battle. You can't say they're not.
No,
so are Leeds,
February.
so are Wolves. Exactly, it's February, obviously, and the teams in the bottom three are. So West Ham, right now, it's about Premier League survival. And that is it,
if we got relegated, that'd be a disaster of epic proportions.
Yeah? What do you think that would mean for this squad and a bunch of players that you got there? We just saw Declan Rice leading the boys out there. But obviously, even if you stay up, you probably go. But what do you think it means for the team if we got relegated?
We'd see a wholesale exodus. You can't keep players like Scamacca and Paqueta and, all that in the Championship. Bowen even. Yeah, like it's Rice, obviously. Then we'd have to go and we'd have a lot of money to spend. But the value for Rice probably drops if we're in the Championship. And then we've got to try and sign players that would be willing to go in the Championship. It'd be a disaster, man. It'd set us back so far.
Before we get to the game, I'm going to ask you this. Will you stay up? Will David Moyes be all right? Will David Moyes last the season is the first thing. And the second question is, do you believe he can keep you up?
Right now, I'm going to say yes. This answer could change after the game.
Of course it can.
This could change after the game.
Yeah.
My gut instinct tells me there's enough quality in this team. We get Scamacca back. Zuma comes back. Ings. I mean, this is all ifs and
Ings
buts.
is a good striker, man. You give Danny Ings chances. I thought that was a good move. I looked at that and thought, you know what, I like the look of that move. I thought he could have gone to maybe Everton. They needed a goal scorer as well. But actually, when he went there, I thought, what, West Ham have got a decent little player there to help keep him up.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things that can just give you them extra few goals. That's just enough to keep you up. And goals is what we've struggled with this season.
Yeah.
Massively.
So you think, yes, you will stay up, and yes, it will be David Moyes to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. And I think, they're very hesitant to sack him. I know they're hesitant because of the cost that will be involved. So it would take we'd have to be probably at the bottom or bottom 2, and it's just panic stations.
Yeah.
Who we get in to save us? I don't know who that would be.
Hopefully you don't have to get that far, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is just under 1,500 of you watching live here on DR Sports for Game Day Live as West Ham are taking on Chelsea at the London Stadium. We are a few minutes away from kickoff, 1 minute away from kickoff. So make sure you guys smash a like on the video and subscribe to DR Sports if you are new to the channel. And get involved in the comment section as well. Let's see what a few of you guys have been saying. Anti-Stupid Not says Nkunku will flop. Hasn't even been here yet. Ain't even got to Chelsea.
That feels personal.
Exactly. Andy Braithwaite says Bournemouth, Southampton, Wolves, Leeds are all worse than West Ham. Relax, flawless. West Ham will stay up. They're saying, don't worry, you'll be fine.
Okay. It's easy to say when you're not a West Ham fan.
Yeah, when you're not actually in it.
Yeah.
No Arsenal fans ever wanted Moyes. There must be arguing with Monks himself in the chat there.
I can confirm.
Yeah, exactly. Bowley has to invest 1.5 billion in the team in the first 18 months. It was part of the takeover deal. Well, that money was set aside from Abramovich when he said, look, I'll write off the debt, but it has to go into X,
But
Y,
they
Z.
can have that agreement, but what about FFP? The FFP, I don't care about your agreement.
No. Well, they swerved it with the structure of their deals, didn't they?
By these 8-year,
Exactly.
And in the future,
Mad.
they may have to do a Tottenham and maximise the commerciality of the club with regards to NFL games and different things like that to drive.
Well, they're in a 40,000 stadium, not even a stadium. To call it a stadium is a lot. It's a ground, you know.
That's the real rivalry there. There is Todd Bowley in the stands, probably planning his next transfers.
Deals, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? West Ham are about to kick off. The bubbles are floating around the London Stadium. Craig Pawson is the referee. Little handshake there. Mark of respect between the two captains, Thiago Silva and Declan Rice. Give me a score prediction.
I'm saying 2-1 West Ham. 2-1 West Ham. I've just seen their left-hand side. We can get a lot of joy out. Mudryk and Cucurella. He hasn't been great, Cucurella, and that's where we can get him. Bowen, this is a big game for him today.
Yeah, need him to step up. What are you going with?
I would like to see West Ham win, but I'll go 2-1 Chelsea. I just think Chelsea have got too much depth in their team.
I thought this was the Chelsea hater.
Yeah, but he's just going on with what he...
Honestly, I just think Chelsea have got too much, and I think off the bench, they've just got more options for more of a plan B as well as we kick off.
You're being razzle-dazzled by the shiny, expensive players.
I am. I can only dream of spending this type of money. You know?
We do have kick-off. I mean, I see what you're saying. Oh, great touch.
Look at that touch. Love it.
Oh, nice little touch.
Man.
Oh, they're on the attack already. I do see what you mean, though. When you look at this Chelsea team, it does look exciting. I look at that front three. I'm really interested to see how that front line of Madueku, Mudryk, and Felix does with Havertz up there as well.
Obviously, I have to say, having watched Chelsea play, they don't often play to what it looks like they're going to play on paper. Do you know what I mean? So it is a bit of a FIFA team at the moment, but
Felix, Mudryk's on the run here. Mudryk's
Stop him.
picking it up. That's not a foul.
No,
he's bought that.
A little shoulder to shoulder
Carlo
there.
Mudryk
You
there,
know
though,
what I mean?
showing what he's about. That was a little bit soft, I think.
Is this a contact sport? I thought it was a contact sport.
He's
Great little
rapid,
touch.
though.
He is rapid.
He's
He is
disgustingly
sharp.
rapid.
Oh, look, he went down so easy.
Is that...
I think he's behind. Yeah,
it's probably
he's
just a
behind
foul.
him.
It's probably just, but it didn't look much in it. But an early free kick deep into the West Ham half. That's a dodgy neck tattoo he's got in it. The neck tattoo he's got.
His cousin's
dodgy.
definitely done.
Yeah. You know, when you're underage, you can't go to a proper tattoo studio and they just, they just do it in someone's shed. But an early free kick, that nervous early doors.
Yeah, listen, an early goal would be awful, lad. I do not want to be conceding an early goal.
It is from a shooting position, and it is that man, Reece James. You know how good he is at set pieces. Enzo Fernandez is standing tentatively just behind him, acting like he's part of it. But I think surely it's going to be Reece James to take this.
Reece James hits this too hard.
Reece James to step up.
No,
into the hands. Nice and easy for Fabianski straight off the bat. 2 minutes in, first shot on target goes to Chelsea from a free kick. Interesting start. And now the ball's up the other end with Antonio being strong.
Come on, Mickey. Hold it up. Who's there? Who's helping him?
He's done well to hold
That's
it up
it.
there.
Nice
So
one.
strong. Oh, and he's lost it.
Just couldn't.
I'm such a fan of Antonio, honestly. We're just watching him play with all the people going down for easy fouls and stuff. He's just a breath. He's just a breath of fresh air.
Throwback
in the
striker,
league.
innit? Come through the lower leagues, knows what it's like to have to graft. Hasn't come through pretty academies and had it handed to him on a plate the whole way through. Not that it's not hard to come through academies, but that route of football
as a winger, by the way,
exactly, it's difficult. Where was it? Mitcham. Mitcham.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Come through, and I mean, I love him. Obviously, he's our record Premier League goal scorer.
Was you sad? Because did you see? I know you guys probably would have covered it when he went on his podcast, sort of saying there have been conversations I could leave. That was obviously you just got Danny Ings. Was you sad at the potential that he could have maybe left?
Not so much for like what he brings to the team at the moment, because I think he's losing a bit. But just for the fact of, I think he will be. A lot of West Ham fans don't like it, but I think he'll go down as a West Ham legend.
He's definitely a cult hero.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to love him, and like I said, you want him to go out on a high with a bit of fanfare. January transfer window. You don't want to see players like that go.
Well, you talk about all-time Premier League scorer for West Ham is what he is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's ingrained in the club's history. That is it.
That's huge. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you've had, I know, for Chelsea on the ties, Loftus-Cheek. Sure, he's got to square that. He's got to square it. And I tell you what, Loftus-Cheek, I think that's poor from him. I think he's taken too long to square that. Kai Havertz is just waiting for it.
He's terrible.
Play it now.
He's terrible.
Play it now.
He's terrible in the final third.
Oh, and he kicks it into the ground.
There's certain things about his game that just haven't matured. He's really poor in the final third, and he's really doesn't look up when he dribbles. He really looks down at the floor, which you want to get out of your game by your mid-20s. But I don't know. Loftus-Cheek is going to be gone. He's not going to survive in this Chelsea team. Definitely not.
Quality-wise.
Thing is, I was going to say Ogbonna. You see him there. Like, I love Ogbonna. He's great, but he's just too slow right now. He's too slow.
Yeah, Chelsea got in down that left-hand side of West Ham, and like I said, he was bearing through there, Loftus-Cheek, and you're just thinking, just get your head up and just square it earlier. In contrast to Ogbonna, you've got Thiago Silva, who's just signed a new deal. What is he, 38 now?
37, 10 and 38 this year, I think. It just doesn't get talked, because we've had the Messi-Ronaldo era, and I kind of somewhat believe that Messi and Ronaldo have ruined football generally, because they're so...
Because of how good they've
Because everyone perils by comparison, but we talk about Messi at 35, and Ronaldo 37, or whichever way around it goes, and Thiago Silva goes overlooked. He's so good. Still. He's still
Chelsea
so good at this.
Oh,
well
great,
done.
nice.
Paquetá.
Great feet.
And he's won a foul there, Paquetá. Well done.
But yeah, Thiago Silva's so good, so underrated. He just, I guess, in that position, if you do your job right, you don't get all the plaudits necessarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's class.
And you know what, with Thiago Silva as well, when you look at some of the teams he's played in, right, and the generation of football, like he's been in a different generation of football.
Correct.
He was in the same team that had like Pirlo, Beckham, Ronaldinho, Kaká at that AC Milan. Like, don't get this twisted. Thiago Silva is one of the best ever defenders. When you're going to talk about like Cannavaro and Nesta and Maldini, and then like, Ramos or players like this,
I think also,
he's in that category, 100%.
I think also he come from the French league, right, which is considered generally the bottom of the top 5 leagues in Europe, and he came in his mid-30s, which again is considered... Paquetá down looking like
just quickly here before you carry on. This doesn't look good. It looks like
injury.
And when he's holding his shoulder, is it a dislocation? He's fallen awkwardly on it.
Oh yeah, he's fallen on his shoulder,
and it does not look good here. This would be a massive blow for West Ham. It wasn't a horrible foul. He just lands awkwardly.
I know how that will feel.
And this is some concern. This is some concern here because they do not want to lose him. He's managed to move it a little bit there. Hopefully, it's just an awkward landing. And not a dislocation. Look at Thiago Silva there helping out his compatriot. Hopefully that's not a dislocation, because that will be a big
that'd be a huge miss.
Big. I don't like how they put that stat up, by the way. 2 goals in that. Like, don't do that.
Souček is out warming up. Hasn't been his best. He's been awful recently, and he's radioing. It does not look good.
Nah, do you know what? If he's this season can just get in the bin. I'm so sick of this, man. These injuries. We just can't get a break. And as much as I'm on Moyes' case, It's just a joke. Like, our luck is disgusting right now.
João Felix, good ball. What is he thinking? Just pass it now and now. Just takes too long. And then when he does, he kicks it into the floor.
He never looked up.
No.
He didn't look up. Well, he didn't even know he was there. He was just kind of hitting and hoping.
Yeah.
He never looked up time.
That's actually really poor. I know Graham Potter's obviously applauding his players there, get the confidence going.
It's a good run and good movement.
Being in the right position. That's what you should do. But actually, in terms of execution, that's really poor.
A lot of time early on in the game, I give players a little bit of a pass. Like, you've got to try and just grow into the game. Is he going to be all right
here?
Please.
He might be. They've got Souček warming up, obviously, in Flint Downs.
Don't bring Souček on.
I mean...
That bad?
He looks like...
Look, how can you take off Paqueta for Souček?
No, it would change the whole structure of the team. He was a serious player for you guys season.
Yeah, because we played in a way that suited him.
Yeah.
West Ham fans look really concerned there. Is he going to be able to carry on? He's not. It's not one of the ones where he needs the oxygen, and
it's just.
But he looks like he's not going to carry on.
But in terms of any sort of flair in their team, it's going to be Benrahma, Paqueta. They're the two. I mean, Bowen at times, but really Benrahma and Paqueta are the two guys that get them ticking.
With Souček going to come on?
I think he's probably arguing that he wants to.
Yeah, I think he'll probably want to try it out and see how he is. Yeah, he's going back to the bench, Souček. He's going to give it a go, Paqueta. See how he gets on. Hopefully, he can loosen up.
And this is where you gamble, right? Because do you risk him having a longer-term injury for the sake of trying to rescue something here?
And also for the change that he might make, David Moyes, if he is injured, would he be likely to go with the young Flint Downs, or would he go with a more experienced player and just play safe because it's against Chelsea, it's at home? What do you think?
Well, I think he'd go for Souček. It's taken him this long to start to drop him. So, yeah, that's the problem with Moyes. And I think Flynn Downs is a quality player, and he just gives you a little bit more in terms of his passing ability. And Souček, he's great defensively, but ask him to do that.
That's got to be offside.
He's got to be offside, please.
He's got to be offside.
That's not offside.
It's João Felix. It's a great finish. It's in the post, but he's got it back. But surely it's offside.
Yeah, it's offside.
And it is offside.
Why did it take so long?
But I tell you what, though, who is that who's taking... Was that Declan Rice? Someone took a dodgy touch where the ball shouldn't even have got to him.
Let's have a look.
Who is that? I think it's Declan Rice. No, it's not. Who's that there? Look at that. Who's that?
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
That's awful. Cheeky little finish there.
He knew it was offside.
Yeah. But a big let off that. Well, not a big let off. He's miles off, but just not getting the ball in that situation there. What is going on? David Moyes is not happy.
They've been able to play through that back line already 2 or 3 times, and it's only like 10 minutes into the game, and it's only really for Chelsea's poor execution that they're not one up at the moment.
That's a good point, Nick. Because it hasn't started well here for your team, Dan, has it? I mean, Paqueta with a little bit of a knock there, but in terms of getting the ball down and play and make it difficult for Chelsea, it hasn't been that. Like Nick said, they've carved you open a couple of times. And they're on the attack here again with Havertz.
Nice
good
one,
tackle from Declan Rice there. West Ham need to settle down. Look, they're just
they're panicking already.
Yeah.
The thing is with this style of team as well. Like, if you do bring off Paqueta and bring on Souček and you still concede, then the game's pretty much over at that point. Because, you know what I mean? Like, you really would feel that just psychologically with the West Ham players already struggling, what looks like mentally, you feel like if they go a goal down, they could kind of capitulate a little bit.
Yeah. Antonio fighting for everything. Yeah. I like the colour of that Chelsea kit. I haven't seen this kit before. I like that colour.
I don't like anything about Chelsea.
Reminds me of our away kit in the 90s. We had a cream one. Dagenham Motors.
I like colours like that.
We were talking about Thiago Silva. Yeah, he just goes so underrated, and there's conversations about where he stands on. Because I think, like I say, coming from France, people thought maybe it's, maybe he's coming to wind down his career, coming in the mid-30s, couple of seasons. They didn't think it was going to be like a long-term solution, but he has been
all given away.
He has been class.
The thing is,
just can't get hold of it. It just can't get hold of it.
What players like Thiago Silva are showing me is there's a massive change in football with longevity, basically. Yeah. And I think we're going to see that more and more to the future with players playing longer. And so it used to be once you was like 32, 33, 34, you're looking at retirement.
That is the case for some players. Like they brought in Koulibaly, who was touted from all top clubs around Europe for a long time, and he's just made
the move
nothing.
Too late and just looks average.
Just looks below average.
Below actually.
So
I think, but that could be more of a sense of where he's gone as a player, rather than he's aged out in a way. Like, and I mean, even Defoe, managed to get quite a bit of longevity. Obviously, he's not playing at the level of Thiago Silva, but for what he was able to do.
Yeah.
He had a good long career.
Well, on Thiago Silva, I know we cut it short there because Paqueta went down injured. But in terms of how good he is, where does he rank in best defenders of all time? And what is your kind of list of that?
That's a big question to put on, like, list best defenders of all time.
Or who comes to mind? Because those things are quite
Yeah.
hard on the spot, you know.
Yeah.
But if you was to get, that's a foul throw, isn't it?
Every game that I'm telling you
There's
now,
a lot of foul throws.
I know it's not about Arsenal. Bellerin's the only player that gets called for foul throws. Even if there's foul throws every game, Flex. Even our players do foul throws.
Yeah.
Wait, we're not going to hear the Arsenal conspiracy theory.
Only from no more as well.
Only Bellerin got whistled for foul throws. Never
Chelsea
seen
are
it
on
anywhere
them, man.
else.
Chelsea are literally Enzo
Great
Fernandez with a shot from distance.
Good idea. Really good idea.
Wide of the post. Chelsea just not allowing West Ham to settle. They are absolutely on them, winning the ball back really quickly, really high. And
Paqueta's down again.
has gone
Nah,
down,
he's-
and
he's
that
got
is
us.
it. He is done.
It's Souček time.
He's going to
Game-
be check time.
I'm so
This is
sick
really
of
the
this
difference
season,
in certain
man.
types of managers. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a different manager, he goes for downs and he says, let's go out and win this game.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it does to the psychology of the players if they know that he's playing more of a defensive mould and saying, actually, let's just try and grind out.
Grind out a point.
Yeah.
It's defeatist. And I think it goes to the players that are looking and go, oh, okay, this is what we're doing then. So we have no intention to win this
He
game.
might as well gamble because if the other teams around you go and get with new manager bounces, if the other teams around them go and get wins, it doesn't matter if they grind out a point. What's the point? What's the point going to do for them in the relegation zone?
It's just don't make sense.
Yeah.
He's just going to put Souček in where Paqueta was and expect everyone to play the same way. No change in formation. No.
Yeah.
What would Flint Downs
anything.
give? You know, young kid. I get that kind of breakthrough season, but what would he
He'd
give?
actually be able to find the attacking players with a pass. You know, Souček can only pass it like 2 yards to the side. You know,
There was
where-
at one point Souček was getting goals. He was third man running to the box, headers.
Well,
That's on the
and, you know,
receiving end of the ball, though.
Yeah.
He's talking about being the person setting the action.
Yeah,
Souček
but-
can receive the ball.
Yeah, Souček, what he was doing, he was making those late runs into the box. We don't need our centre midfield to do that. It's nice if you can do that and get goals. That's not your main job.
Do you think he's dropped off massively, or he's just always been a limited player that was excelling?
Yeah, I just think that we don't play to his strengths. And I think a lot of teams worked it out. We had to change. We couldn't just keep doing that. That's why his goals started to dry up. Now we're asking him to do a little bit more on the ball, and he can't do it.
You've mentioned for a few players that you don't play to their strengths. Is that just down to Moyes?
I think it's
he's bought most of them,
down to
hasn't he?
exactly. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is down to Moyes. And look at Haller. I know Moyes didn't sign him, but you know we ended up selling him, and he
Look what
went
Ten
and got
Hag did with him,
yeah.
mate.
He went and got nominated
Do you know
for a
what I mean?
Ballon
Ten
d'Or.
Hag, mate. See, Ten Hag effect.
Maybe you should sign Haller, mate.
Yeah, should have got him instead
I mean,
of Weghorst.
and what he's done is incredible. You know, he went through the illness he
Yeah,
had and
unbelievable
came
return.
back and
Yeah.
got a hat trick. I know it was like
Yeah.
a friendly, but
Yeah.
to do that.
And he's, you know, at Dortmund, he's reinvigorated his career. No disrespect to Ajax, but kind of, you know, similar kind of level.
Ball.
But you know, he's playing in the Champions League, scoring goals in the Champions League.
That's what I mean.
And he couldn't hit it off. I remember he was kind of a laughing stock at West Ham at the time. Came for big money from Germany, didn't he? What was it like, 30, 40 million at the time?
He's another one. Me and Nicky on West Ham Fan TV used to argue about LA all the time. He hated him. He hated him with a passion. I was like, we're not playing to the geezer's strengths.
Yeah.
We don't play to his strengths.
We have tried to ask this question twice now, and twice something's happened. So let's try it for a third time. The best defender situation.
My brain
with Thiago
immediately
Silva.
goes to like that Italian era, the Nesta and Maldini partnership. I do think when you talk about defenders, you have to look at partnerships as well sometimes. But for solo defender, he's got to be in that conversation. People might mark him down because he came to the Premier League late, but I think that could be a mark in his favour that he's come to the Premier League late and still had such an impact on the league, right? He hasn't just come for an easy paycheck. So he's got to be up there in the
got to be a
conversation.
foul.
That's a
I'll tell you
great
what.
ball. That's
I tell
a
you what, though,
great
but they're going to
ball.
want a foul.
That
João
is a
Felix has
great
scored, and it's
goal.
a great ball.
That's a great goal.
Over the top. I think it's from Enzo Fernandez, but there was a late tackle
what?
here
Am I looking
on,
at-
Was it the one
I
on
think,
Bowen?
Joe Bowen, and
Yeah.
he gets out the way of it. But if they look at this back,
They won't
it's
do.
got to be a foul because I tell you, it led to this goal.
They won't
VAR.
because VAR's a disgrace. They should go back and look at that.
Exactly,
That was
because if
got
he catches
screwed at
him-
their ground,
in terms of the goal, that was a class goal from the
Brilliant
edge of the
goal.
box, flicks it, it just bends around a couple of defenders, and Felix is just there. And
He takes a baggy touch here, and if he touches him there, it's a foul.
It's-
But is there enough in that? That we're going to have to see. But if he touches
VR's
him,
got to at least look at it.
And I think he's definitely onside. Enzo Fernandez, he's definitely onside. Great ball.
This
Fernandes.
is what that moment there is what I'm
finish.
talking about with Felix and Havertz, where they both play kind of false 9 and number 10, and they switch. Havertz starts up top and drops deep. The defenders go with him, and Felix does the reverse, and that's just such a cultured finish.
It's a good finish. Watches it all the way, gets a good connection, and he makes it look easy. But sometimes those are a bit dodgy. You can shank those. But from a Chelsea perspective, we spoke about this, didn't we? About them being exciting and the players that they've got. Enzo Fernandez, Felix, Mudryk, etc. And Mudryk, he takes a baggy touch, but he's involved in it, weirdly.
Yeah.
But a great ball from Enzo Fernandez. Todd Bowley's smiling, he's clapping.
Oh, look at him.
The money's paying off.
It
is a goal. There is no VAR check.
VAR check.
There must have been.
This is just going to be psychologically damaging to West Ham. Because like I say, they've taken off Paqueta, who's a technical midfielder. They've brought on a defensive midfielder. And within 2 or 3 minutes of doing that, they've gone and conceded a goal. So I don't know if you're in one of these West Ham players, who do you look to get you out of this situation now? We haven't even seen Benrahma on the pitch.
No,
how are you feeling after that kick in the teeth? I mean, you haven't started well, then the injury, and now conceded a goal.
It just speaks to how we've been this season. It's just so negative, and we have to find a way to get at Chelsea to create. I know, look, they've got quality players all over the pitch, but come on! Oh, look at this. West Ham, when we've won, because it won once when conceding first.
It's going to go out.
Good little bit of football there from West Ham, but in 14 games of conceding first, they've only won one.
Was this a foul? There's a replay of it here now. He takes a rubbish touch here, goes chasing after it.
Yeah, he gets the ball first.
And to be honest, they've skipped to a little West Ham half.
This is what I'm saying. We get into these areas.
I don't think there was enough in that Mudryk one. I don't think he
gets the ball first, and there's obviously catches him.
Just got to believe a bit more. West Ham. They're just not close to Chelsea. It's just too easy.
Come on,
that's a bit better.
What's Benrahma?
There's only 2 players.
Come on, Said.
Wait for the overlap. It's Bowen against Cucurella.
Come on, Jared.
Going to cut in on his left foot. Blocked.
Every time we get in these positions and we do nothing with it. Quick.
Souček plays it forward for Kufal, crossing opportunity, and a rubbish cross from Kufal.
This is going to be it all game. This is going to be it.
Just trying to lump balls into the box.
No, not enough quality there, man.
David Moyes is seething. He's cutting his eye. He is looking at his players. He looks a bit like in disbelief at how bad the start has been. But like you said, though, he's got to find a way to get a reaction out of these players and get West Ham playing. This has been all too familiar for you guys, hasn't it?
This is where a manager, you judge them on their tactical ability, because at some point he's going to have to look to change things. He's just put kind of a like for like, even though Souček and Paqueta are worlds apart. He's just put Souček and put him in Paqueta's role.
Yeah.
And at some point he's might have to look at, okay, let me take off Ogbonna and put on Fornals and have an extra person in midfield.
Instead of going with a 5.
Yeah.
Decent throw
here.
Oh, come
Antonio,
on. Hold it up.
We need a response.
Declan Rice is going to have a shot.
Ollie.
Fakes. Left foot. Has it got it? No. Comes to Benrahma.
Come on, Benny. Oh, we have to.
Chelsea kind of forcing him back out.
That's the issue. I mean, you've gone for a throw in. Your striker's holding it up close on the edge of the 18-yard, edge of the 6-yard box even, and we've managed to play it all the way back.
Wow, what a tackle that was!
All the way back to the halfway line.
We can't deal with the press. See that tackle from
Reece James there?
That's what he does, though. He's so good, Reece James.
Reece James is unbelievable, and I know you were saying about the injuries. He's one of them players that they just got to find a way to keep him fit, because he can be one of the best in the world in that position for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was the big Trent Reece James debate going on last
and they're both kind of for different reasons not being in the conversation right now because of injury and respective form for the other.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting conversation when they're both fighting fit. Got a bunch of pigeons.
Oh my God!
Madueke cutting in there. It's like 7 or 8 pigeons just chilling. Look, there they go flying past now as well.
Got a front row seat.
Yeah. But West Ham just passive. There's no press. They're just allowing Chelsea to stroke this ball around at will, and Chelsea are just enjoying possession. And
20 minutes in, they're already scared to press. That's where you don't want to get to, because
I think we're the lowest in the league for pressing. Like we have like the worst stats for
you're
pressing.
Just going to get, but here you're just going to get passed around.
Yeah, and it's not even about. I understand against a team where if you try and go toe to toe and play too aggressive, you can get passed around and leave massive gaps. You have got to have a solidity about you. Have 2 banks of 4, in this case a 5, a 5 and a 3 in front or whatever, or 2.
Bit more pressure though on the team. Like you're just giving them acres of space.
Yeah, it's too easy,
especially with players of this quality. You've got Felix and Enzo and Reece James. These are very good players. You can't give them time to pick their passes and let them decide what they're going to do.
Exactly, they're just going to drag us around.
Look, another ball there, and Havertz is clean through, and it's 2-0. Is it offside? It was way too easy. It is offside, but there is going to be a bit that is going to be checked, and that will be close.
That's class football.
That is brilliant football. Is he offside? He's offside here. He comes back onside. I tell you what, he's off with the arm, but
the shoulder.
You can't score goals with the arm. Sometimes they draw them lines on, and you're like, is it or isn't it?
It's got to be the shoulder.
Graham Potter's obviously happy with that, but he's seen the flag go up. This will be checked.
But the thing is,
but it's another panic sign.
To talk about the psychology of this Chelsea team, when he saw the flag go up, Potter, he didn't even get upset. He started smiling because he's got such confidence that we'll get another one. We'll keep doing this. That's fine. If it's not this one, we'll get another one. That's where they're already at psychologically, and that type of confidence for a team like this is scary because they just have that ability. I mean, Mudryk against Kufal is just such a mismatch in terms of pace.
Yeah.
He just, rather than trying to run him down the line, Kufal's quite a physical defender. Rather than trying to run him and get into a physical battle, he just cuts inside, and then it's all bets are off at that point.
Yeah, I think like what you're saying there, the bigger problem here is, and like Dan's probably nervous about, is the fact that West Ham have been so off the ball, and they can be 2 offside goals, but essentially they're being cut through open at will here, and they are being so passive. Chelsea are just knocking the ball about, and like you said, look, ball's over the top, and Havertz is in again. I don't know if he's offside, but he's broken the offside trap again. The flag now goes up. Okay, it's fine with these being offside, but you can clearly see, you can look at it 2 ways. You can say, well done, we held our line. That's what you're there to do. But look, he's playing on the shoulder, and that is tight again.
I don't know if that one is offside.
I don't know if that is. We'll never know. But I tell you what, again, it's been far too easy. And one thing actually in praise to Graham Potter and Chelsea actually is we're talking about chance creation, and they don't score enough goals, and their attacking players aren't involved enough. He's gone with a new front three here, and they have started on fire. They are creating chances at will.
Yeah, and Havertz isn't a prolific goal scorer. If you've got...
Come on, Van Rama, can he get past? No.
Who's there?
That's a good pass.
Oh, I just couldn't quite get on.
That's unfortunate. Danger.
It's like you said, it's fine, all well and good, okay, then being offside, but eventually the net one's not going to be offside. If you keep playing that risk.
Felix is having a field day here, by the way. He picks up the ball in a half turn again, tries to get Mudryk in.
So, once they replace Havertz with an Nkunku or someone like that, it really becomes scary hours because, he's, a better finisher could probably take that first touch. Havertz fluffed the touch.
Yeah, exactly.
Should have been able to bring that down and get a shot on target, really.
Exactly. I mean, I've been a big admirer of Jalfi. That's a good ball down the side here. The pigeons are still there. He gets into the box here, 1-on-1 against Cucurella. Antonio! He forces a save.
Shit pass from Bowen.
It was really close range save from Kepa, from Antonio. Good play from Jarrod Bowen. Ball down the side from Kufal, and Jarrod Bowen gets into the box where Cucurella doesn't really want to touch him. Plays it. He goes with a little flick there.
Yeah,
but it kind of hits. It's so close. Is it even a save? It kind of just hits Kepa, and then goes out.
Goal kick?
I think it's a goal kick. That's why Kepa's leaving it.
It's probably too close to the keeper.
Yeah.
If you can start putting some shots on target and at least get a corner out of them, then you've got Antonio, you've got Souček. Try and play for some set pieces.
What are these pigeons doing, man? I'm blaming the pigeons.
There's literally like a little family of them as well.
We need them in defence, mate.
Little family of them, mate. You know what I mean?
But if you guys are going to get any joy, it's got to be isolating Cucurella against Jarrod Bowen, or Bowen against Cucurella, rather. That's
what they're trying to do again here.
Come on, Souf.
Got to go to Bowen here, surely.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to find a way.
Can't be trying to beat Mudryk for pace.
Here comes.
Souček bursting forward. Gets a corner.
There you go.
There you go. Put respect on his name.
No, he won the corner. Well done. He wins corners.
Souček, mate. You know what I mean?
Let's see if he scores this. We've scored one set piece all season.
Has he been playing though?
Souček, I mean, he was playing for a good portion of the season. It's only recently he's been out of the team.
Shields is massive, man, for a young kid. Jesus.
Come on.
It's like this is the time
to score.
Yeah. Massive.
Come on, Soufal. Oh,
good ball in from Bowen. Near post. Kera.
Such a bizarre signing, Kera.
It was weird, isn't it?
Such
and he
a
hasn't been
bizarre
great.
signing.
Yeah.
You got spun and packed by Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not what you want to see.
I'm still holding out hope for him. Obviously, German international, plays right back for Germany, playing in a back three for us, and he's played right back. He's all over the place. What are they trying to say? His hands offside?
Offside. Oh, that was the one. That was the one. So that was by a whisker. It wasn't much in it. Let's go to the chat here. We've got nearly 2,000 people watching live. Smash a like on the video and subscribe to DR Sports if you are new to the channel, and welcome to you if you are new to the channel. And remember, you can join the DR Sports membership as well if you would like to. David Oliver says Newcastle missed Bruno massively against West Ham, and WB says, oh, good point. And imagine Paqueta in Newcastle, says Anonymous. West Ham look awful, says Tyler Scott. They are starting to settle down now. And they scored! And they scored! Just as... And this Emerson, the ex-Chelsea player, has just equalised. Dan.
Yes! Oh, my God. First goal for West Ham. Oh, love him. Come on. I thought we'd fucked it. I thought we fucked that. Oh, my God. Oh, that's what we needed. That needs to give us a kick up the arse now. Let's go. Let's go.
First time I've heard his name. Emerson's name for the whole game, but there we go.
Let's talk you through the goal. Is Souček involved in the build-up? Makes a little run there. It comes back to Kera, gets it back to Kufar. Kufar with a fantastic ball. Actually, no, headed on by Jared Bowen, and I tell you what, Chelsea gone to sleep there. Jared Bowen keeps us alive because that's not actually the greatest ball there, but he keeps it alive. He does what he can, doesn't try to shoot, just helps it on
back post.
Emerson. And you know what? He hits it into the ground, Emerson.
He fluffs it a little bit.
But actually that helped it take it past the keeper. 1-1.
1-1. Emerson, man, he had a rocky start to his time at West Ham, but he's got better and better, and that goal is only going to do him some good. Oh my
David
God.
Moyes is happy. He fist pumps. Yeah, Emerson doesn't celebrate. Fair play to him for being respectful to his...
Poor positioning from Reece James, maybe?
Exactly.
There's two centre-backs that are occupying Antonio. Reece James doesn't really have to get involved there. He has to focus on the back post, but...
From a Chelsea perspective, I think Graham Potter will be really disappointed with that. We've been speaking about how comfortable they've been, but in the last sort of 5 minutes, they were just getting a little bit of possession in the final third against Chelsea. And goals change games, so let's see how they respond. Badia Shields facing his own goal, no foul there. Make sure you don't hit it long and it goes out for a throw. Goals change games.
That's it, game on. And whether it was intentional or not, what Antonio's done there, all the players are focusing on Antonio. So Bowen heading the ball just beyond him. They're not looking at Emerson coming in.
And it's another corner.
Oh, come on.
West Ham.
Sorry, carry on, but another corner.
No, I'm just saying, like, Antonio, that he's drawing the players, he's drawing their attention. Yeah. Emerson, they're not looking at him, comes in on the back post, and that's, how we're doing it.
Your team deserve credit, considering, we were just saying how, it was panic stations. It looked very alarming that West Ham were being torn through so easily, and now they get back into the game.
Another back post,
and they're looking for another one. Oh no!
Another back post cross.
Does that surprise you, that reaction? And two, do they deserve credit?
Yeah, no, I do. That does surprise me, especially that early to get back in, get that goal back, and they definitely deserve credit because we started going for it. We started to create a bit more recently. Heads didn't drop.
Exactly, because that could have been a capitulation, really. Yeah. I know they got, lucky with the... Not lucky, you can say it's good defending. When it's tight margins like that, it's 50-50. But, they survived some scares. I tell you what, and there's a scare here. Oh, what is Kepa thinking? He's given it to Loftus-Cheek with... Well, that's a foul, but the play on from the referee, Craig Pawson there. Might be another foul here, probably pull it back for that. Yeah.
Do you know
but showing a little bit of bite and a little bit of nastiness. This is a derby. It's a London derby.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's about. You can't do that in a London derby, just drop your head. You've got to be up for it. And missing... When you lose Noble, you miss things like that. Players who know what this is about. But you've got Declan. He's obviously taking the captain's armband. And, fair play. I can't believe how my mood has changed so drastically.
You were so down 5 minutes ago. And do you know what? I was literally reading a comment, actually, at the time of somebody in the chat who was saying, West Ham look awful. There's that ball over the top again. About dealt with. But,
yes.
I tell you what, I think West Ham do need to do something about... We can't lose it there, Deck. They need to do something about this ball because Havertz is continually making that run, or Felix, over the top. It's clearly a well-thought-out tactic. to be more effective from Chelsea, and it is causing West Ham problems, Nick.
Yeah, and they're beating them in pretty much every one-on-one. You're going to need their defense. The only reason they got that tackle there is because the ball bounced and there was a defender there to sweep up a loose ball. But every one-on-one, they're really losing it against these players. Great turn from Loftus-Cheek, and of course he tries a flicked ball over the top. He's still going though. It's very this is
and he gives an awful pass.
That sums up Loftus-Cheek. I was just about to say the exact same words.
Yeah, I was a counter-attack.
Come on,
here.
Jared.
Can he get it through there? Oh, he couldn't.
Unlucky.
He just wouldn't come down quick enough.
But Loftus-Cheek is such a frustrating player. He just turns his man brilliantly. He drops the shoulder, starts going, can't make a pass. 2 or 3 yard pass.
He possesses attributes that you look at, Loftus-Cheek,
They're
power,
very rare.
strength. He's got a bit of guile about him, decent touch.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the decision making and calming himself down in the moment to make the pass or to make the shot or to make the angle or to whatever, to make the right decision.
Yeah.
He's been lacking.
I think part of that is struggling to go from boys football to men's football because he's always been huge.
Yeah.
So when he played boys football, he was big and strong and powerful and would shove people off, and he could get away with some of those mistakes. But at this level, it's going to be really, really tough to do that. But fair play to West Ham for putting on a really.
It looks like we're actually
done.
pressing now.
Well, the goal has given you a little bit of, well, not a little bit. It's given you belief. It's given you the confidence to go and play now.
That's it. They look like they want it more. They look hungry. Like, come on, let's push on and get this winner.
And the goals come from Cucurella's side as well. He's had a poor season so far.
Yeah.
And for the money that they spent on him, it's not.
The vision
great.
in the chat says Cucurella looks like Bambi when he plays. So timid, lol. And AJ Miles says Liverpool king of Europe. Well, you're not anymore, mate. You're not anymore.
It's surprising because obviously Potter had Cucurella at
Exactly.
Brighton.
So you would think that he would, be able to get him going.
Yeah.
Mudrik's been a bit quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Obviously, that can change at any moment.
Last 5-10, but I mean, he cut Kufal to pieces not long ago. So he'll. I don't know.
Madueke as well, looking for him to kind of get more involved. The two key threats have been Enzo Fernandez, has been João Felix, and Havertz has been making things happen. And I think Enzo Fernandez has been quite good as well. But it's very fluid as well. Look where João Felix is now, on the left-hand side.
That's what I mean. I love that fluid type of, with
Mudrik's
4 players that are so...
Madueke, 1-on-1, gets a shot, great save.
Right.
And João Felix picks it up.
Get it out.
Gets it out, only plays it to Mudrik. Mudrik with a little feint.
Good tackle.
Comes out to Cucurella. Now comes out to Felix on the wing. Goes with a cross. It's a good
ball.
ball.
Straight over everything.
Felix is
good save from Fabianski.
Felix is too cultured.
Yeah, he's wicked,
I know he's on loan.
Such a good player.
There's talk of him going back to Atletico. Who knows what's going to happen?
If Chelsea, if he plays well here,
everybody will want him. Everybody will want him. Like your team could do with him.
I really wanted him.
My team could do with a player like him. He's just so.
This is actually a really good hand and a good wrist save from Fabianski.
He's a massively underrated goalkeeper, like the career what he's done over the course of his career. He's always been pretty good.
Good hold-up play there from Antonio. Wants to get it back. Well done. And I tell you what, and Saïd Benrahma's got on the wrong side of... Oh, and it's... that's a great recovery from Thiago Silva, by the way.
Amazing.
You talk about world-class and why he's still world-class.
You would expect someone like Benrahma to just get away from him. But he doesn't. He's quicker than him, obviously, but he doesn't really pull away from him.
No, and look at me. Just doesn't panic Thiago Silva. There's no panic station. No one needs to come across and help me. I'm okay.
Goes to the shot.
Brilliant.
Do you know what? I have to question Bowen there. He was way too slow in getting forward because then...
What's he done there? Why has he done that?
Goodness,
you don't want this. It's Mudrik's against Kufal 1-on-1. Jarrod Bowen's just left the ball and he wants to run from Havertz, but now we've seen Enzo Fernandez. Can he take a touch and hit?
Go on, Deckers,
well done, Declan Rice comes across.
Oh my God, that's huge.
The danger's not over though. Little ball over the top there to Madueke, but it's played towards his head, not his chest.
There's a miscommunication there between Bowen and Kufal. Bowen thinks Kufal's about to come for the ball, so he leaves it, and Kufal runs back. He should never be leaving that ball for Kufal, not against Mudrik.
To be fair though, it's a good reaction from West Ham to get numbers back. Enzo Fernandez is wide there, but Declan Rice closes that space really well.
Should he maybe take that shot first time?
Antonio's done well. I think he's putting it about a little bit and giving that. In this type of game where it's you're not going to get a lot and you need to be physical.
He looks up for it today.
Danny Ings wouldn't give that. He'd give a different sort of attribute. Exactly. But in terms of just bullying people and just being involved in the build-up, I think Antonio's done a good job of that. To be fair, wow, what game! It's had a lot, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's had a lot. Good, entertaining game for the neutrals. You must be
for me,
you must be stressed, but for the neutrals, this is a good game, man.
Oh,
Let us know how you feel about the game in the chat. Who stood out for you? Thiago Silva is the best centre-back, says Anonymous. Here we go. Danielle Taylor says Liverpool is the legends of Europe again. Make it 5-1. Chelsea looking very scary for the future, says Next. And there's a super chat here from Adam. Adam says Reece needs to look over his shoulder. He's been poor since he's been back for me. Obviously, by the tone, that sounds like a Chelsea fan. And Michigan... João Felix on the spin again. Great feet from João Felix. Good block.
4 or 5 He's got 4 or 5 defenders.
Offside again.
He's got 5 defenders in front of him, and none of them get to him. He's just doing what he wants.
Yeah. Every ball, every block just goes straight to their feet. It just
because they're anticipating. They're pressing. Like they look like if everyone out there did a bleep test, it would be all Chelsea players by the end of it. They just look fitter, stronger, more well-drilled. And I don't know how much of that is fitness and how much of that is mental strength and belief, because that can have a massive effect. But they are getting to everything ahead of you guys.
Michigan says, Flex, West Ham are going to release Declan Rice. Will their fans respect it? I mean, say release.
We won't be releasing
him. Obviously sell. But on that, I want to get your thoughts on Declan Rice and how good do you think he is?
Yeah.
And do you think this is his last season at West Ham? And thirdly, where do you think he's best suited to go?
I think it probably is his last season. I think he is going to be world class. Whatever you determine world class, I wouldn't say right now I consider him to be he's on that cusp of being world class. And I mean, look, there's going to be a massive bidding war in the summer. Arsenal fans seem to just think they're getting him. I don't know why. They've read. Apparently, he's given his word to Arteta.
Listen, mate, they thought they was getting Isak. They thought they was getting Mudryk. They thought they were getting Vlahovic. They've been done quite a few times.
But
so
our resolve
there's always a plan B and a plan C. I get that,
but it's
a dangerous thing if Arsenal fans start thinking they've got him in the bag, because recently that has not been the case.
Exactly. And it's going to cost a lot of money. Like I said, there's going to be
how much will it? Because he didn't go. Obviously, there was talking 100+ million before. Is it still 100+ million for Declan Rice?
Yeah, I believe so.
Even if West Ham are in this position and struggling to stay in the league.
Yeah, look, if we get relegated, it's a different story.
That's a different story.
But Moyes has already said he's going to be a record British transfer fee.
Here comes
Havertz from Chelsea, and it's João Felix. That's not a foul, surely not. It is.
It might be.
And it is a foul.
I want to see that again.
I can't believe it.
Is it a contact sport or what?
I didn't see any contact with the ball is the issue.
Is there enough contact with the player, though?
You've got to have a little bit of physicality.
Premier League here.
Yeah.
Is that a foul? He leans into him, Souček, but is it? Yeah.
It's in the back.
It's an exaggerated fall from Felix, but there's no contact with the ball.
And went down, isn't it?
It's smart for Felix.
Do you know what it is with those, though? Because they haven't got the pace to keep up with him. If that's purely shoulder to shoulder, there's no foul, no chance about it. But it's leaning into the back is the problem.
It makes the referee have an easy decision to make when it's like that. But I think when you're João Felix, he's the contact, the fall doesn't replicate what the contact was.
It looks worse when a bigger player is doing it to a smaller player.
Yeah. That's always because they can't get shoulder to shoulder. Yeah. The issue.
But João Felix, again, he is at the heart of everything that Chelsea are doing well.
This is what I want at Arsenal with our front four, for us to be much more flexible and interchanging in positions. That's what I want to see us do, the way that we're seeing Chelsea do it now, to be honest.
Well, there's a free kick about 20 yards out.
No restraint on this.
That's a dangerous
25, 23, 24 yards out. Kera's doing the floor duty, making sure that nothing goes underneath that wall. It's a massive wall. If you've got Declan Rice in there, you've got Souček in there. I don't know if Ogbonna's in there. I didn't see.
And João Felix obviously feeling confident because he wants to step up and take it.
Yeah, Havertz is standing over this. Reece James is not standing over this. I've taken the first one. It's going to be João Felix. Gets it over around the wall and forces a good save from Fabianski, and he goes out for a Chelsea corner. Good save there, Dan.
Yeah, really. He's having a good game, Fabianski. I've really got to give him credit. He's had a few shaky ones this season. He's like 38.
He should save that one, though, to be fair. It goes around the wall. He sees it all the way. It's a good height, actually. It's a relatively comfortable save, but one that he needed to make.
You've seen him go in. Right?
Old Flapianski, mate. You know what I mean?
You've seen De Gea have some this season.
I have.
If that's the Reece, that goes in.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think Rice, there will be, like I said, a
corner comes in.
Oh,
it was a free header. And it's Badiashile who gets his head on it. He wants a goal kick. He's not going to get that.
Arsenal fans, I think they're going to get him for 75 mil. I've seen all this ridiculous business. It's like, no. At the end of the day, we've got effectively 2 years, 1 year with an extension.
So you get an 80 million. Let's say it goes to the summer, Arsenal offer you 80 million. There's no other offers. You guys,
You think there's going to be no other offers?
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah, there will
purely,
be.
no, I'm just purely hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
You wouldn't accept it, and you're in this position. You're in 17th.
Yeah, but they'd want to keep him, though, wouldn't they? If they could keep
Because
him.
we got to look at the value to us. Say he leaves on a free in 2 years. You know,
I think
what
you've
can
got to
we
take that 80 million to the transfer market and try and reinvest in something. You know, he's a very, very good player, but he's not gonna save you from relegation on his own. He needs other players around him.
But let's just say, obviously, this hypothetical of yours isn't going to happen, and this is Arsenal dreamland.
Havertz making good runs again, receiving the ball well. Havertz has been lively. I think a lot of question marks been around him about can he impact games more, can he score more goals, can he make more runs, and just have an overall better impact on the game. I have to say, I think his movement's been good.
He doesn't score enough for a number 9, but he definitely gives them a good focal point that you can bounce the ball off, make a little bit of a wall.
Because I don't think he's an out-and-out number. He's a
not.
weird player where I look at him and I don't really know what he's best at. Like, what is he a floating 10? Is he a false 9?
Screaming when they
On the
first
wings,
signed him. They were
yeah.
screaming about how rapid he is and how he's going to be
and I
rapid
don't
on
see
the
that
wing,
from him.
and we just don't really see him move that much.
He's played on there. Craig Porter, a little kick on Mudryk there, but he's off the pitch, so they carry on.
He's
Great
rolled
ball
himself
between
off
the
the
lines
pitch.
there for Fernandes to Madueke.
Come on.
Reece James gets
Emerson,
it.
man, you could have got that.
He faced up Edison. Decent ball from Reece James, headed out.
Terrible ball from Reece
Win
James.
it.
They win it back though. Can't get out in a minute.
James really is a unit. Like, when you see
Absolutely.
players-
He's a proper
Solid,
unit,
solid,
yeah.
yeah.
He's
Solid
very
player.
big, very strong.
Bad
That's it.
touch
Come
there
on, Jared.
from Felix. Gives it
Go
to
on,
Joe Bowen.
Soufal. No,
He's got to come
where
back.
are you going?
Fair
He's
enough.
done
Nice,
well there.
though. Done well, but
Cucurella
Well done.
wants-
Well done, Antonio. He's done that well.
Cucurella
Just
got the
get
tackle, but he wants
pressure.
none of it with Mikel Antonio.
Nothing. Yeah, exactly.
okay.
Oh, I tell you what, that's an awful
Great
tackle.
challenge.
That's a yellow card.
Love that.
Awful.
Soufal. Love that. That's
like
what you
that
need.
challenge
Let him know you're there. Just
It's true though. You got to
That's
rough
what
him
he
up. You
does,
can't let
man.
the 87 point whatever million pound man think he's going to come to West Ham in the
let a
London
red carpet
derby and
for
strut
him.
about the place. And
He is one of them
Yeah, you gotta
old
leave one of
school players, right?
does the same thing to
you know what I
Martinelli.
mean? He shakes
Yeah.
players
He hits
up.
him.
Yeah.
yeah, from
Yeah.
a West Ham perspective, that's exactly what you need because you know. You're
I
not gonna be able
remember
to
he
match
gave
him all the time.
Grealish nightmares, man. He had Grealish in his
Rattled.
pocket. Yeah,
I think
rattled
he
him
hit Grealish
completely.
once or twice, and Grealish just didn't want any of it after
Nah.
that.
He weren't.
43 minutes gone now. A couple of minutes to half time. I think if you're West Ham now, you're looking at this like, right, okay,
See the
we've got
half
back
out,
into
man.
this game. Get into half time then.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just see the half out, get back in, reevaluate, and then come out and just, you know what I mean?
The Vision says that was a horror tackle.
Horror tackle.
Z,
Dramatic.
Z1 says Rice is not worth that kind of money.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Why do people this players who goes for what they're worth? Is Enzo Fernandez
Absolutely.
worth what
I
they
agree with
pay?
you on that. It's
No one-
whatever the selling club deems that they're worth.
Yeah.
You're a Man United fan. You have to believe that.
What that everyone's worth. Well, do you know what? But it's not even just
75
that, though.
mil for Pepe.
Exactly. You've been there and done it.
Absolutely, of the top
You-
10 most
everyone's
expensive
been
Premier
there
League
and done it.
transfers, we're on there once. These lot are on there 4 times.
Exactly. And it doesn't work out. We've seen it happen. It does not work out.
Of that list, like 7 or 8 of them are flops. Of the top 10 most expensive Premier League, that
Well, look at
strategy
Casado. You was
doesn't
willing to pay
into-
70 million for
Yeah,
Casado.
I don't know where
How was
these-
Casado worth 70 million?
Just
Obviously,
6 months ago. I don't know where these ideas are coming
Did he
from.
touch him?
He's probably
He's
going to
gonna
have
get
to.
booked.
He's going to have to get a yellow for mounting up a foul.
he's only. He hasn't even played 30 games in the
I
Premier
agree-
League.
I agree with you.
Casado, and I don't get me wrong. I like him. I think he's good.
Yeah.
Got away with one there, Soufal.
He's going to get a yellow.
Is
now,
he getting
surely.
yellow?
That's 2 now.
He stepped on his
I
foot.
think- I
If you're a
one
Chelsea
more.
fan, you're absolutely fuming. If you're Graham Potter, you're saying he's just literally clattered 2 people.
I
How has he not got a yellow card?
You've gone up in my estimation, Paul.
How he hasn't got a
But
yellow
you
card.
would think that Man United to me would be a logical move for
Man
Rice.
United, I mean, it's been touted. I mean, now we've got Casemiro. We need a ball carrying centre mid, like a Frankie De Jong. That's why we wanted him for so long. Declan Rice can carry the ball.
Yeah, he can.
It's not his main strength.
Declan Rice wouldn't make Man United worse, but me personally, I want a different type. I don't know.
You want
I
a
ain't feeling him like that, man.
flashy, sexy
do you know
name,
what? Not
innit?
even that. Not even that. If Man United got Declan Rice, I wouldn't be fuming. But I think there's better value out there for the type of midfielder that we want, and also for the type of money that Declan Rice would cost. Like you said, 100+ million. I need to be spending that on a number 9 at Manchester United.
Yeah.
I need to be spending that on Harry Kane or Victor Osimhen or
Well,
Vlahovic,
you might be
whoever the
getting
striker's going to be. I need
Qatar
it.
owners, you can do both.
And if that happens, then fine.
Yeah.
Then Declan Rice can, you know what I mean, he could be squad player. That's all I care. if we get Qatari money. But if you're talking about Declan Rice for Man United, for me, for what he's going to cost, I'm saying, especially a little nutmeg there.
Nutmeg.
It's Emerson
James.
cuts it back to
Come on.
Antonio.
What was that, Antonio?
He rushed it with his left foot and just took a little swipe.
Scuffed it, man. This is what I'm saying, Antonio. That's his problem. Stuff like that.
Gets a foul. He gets a foul there.
Who is that? O'Connor. Terrible decision making. He
just
waited,
falls on the ball.
but he waited for the ball to go out of play, and then it didn't go out of play, so he just ended up a bit stuck.
Listen, mate, it's good. Good experience.
The only thing I'm not sure about with Declan Rice is his physical strength. You know, I do see him get. He's a really good player, and I like him a lot. But I do see him get shifted. Like when we played you, Saka, who's a winger, just moved him off the ball.
Saka's super strong.
He is very, very strong.
Considering how small he is.
I know he's very, very strong, but I don't see Declan Rice when he loses a lot of his physical.
You can work on that though. That's something that's easily
But again, this is the thing. When you put a price tag on a player like we want to break the British transfer record, you're going to expect them to come with all the bells and whistles.
But the price tag won't be, to me anyway, is not a reflection of how good Declan Rice is. It's like you're saying, he's not £100 million.
He's a guaranteed starter for England now.
He is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's young.
Yeah.
English, obviously, you got English tax.
Yeah, you're going to get the English tax.
You know what I mean? It's
just running the channel as well. There
and
again,
he's versatile, and if you need him to play centre back,
strength from Felix.
Yeah. And Felix has got that dog in him. You know, you're coming through Simeone's style of play.
True.
So you're going to have that side of it of looking after himself in the Premier League.
He might not appreciate that until later in his career when he realises what that time under Simeone's done for him. Because, he's not playing the type of football he wants to play. But, he's mixing it up with Premier League defenders now. I
think Enzo Fernandez has really played at his pace in this. He's looked really comfortable in this game.
Yeah.
Some of it you can say it's because he's got a lot of time. Well done there. Wow.
Just see it. Come on. That's it.
Yeah, we've got to start. We've got to see this Chelsea team play against some other Big Six competitions.
Absolutely, to see where they really are at. And that's no disrespect to West Ham.
See them in Europe and all the rest of it. Because ultimately, you could look at this two ways. They've had it all their own way, and they're still not winning the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it isn't. Chelsea haven't been prolific when they, offside. Fine margins, Loftus-Cheek.
It's still lots of when Ben Chilwell comes back or when this happens, when that happens. It's still not now, considering they've got 2 or 3 times as many passes and shots on target and all the rest of it. So,
but then the positive for the Chelsea side is that these players are gelling together. It's a new manager. They've had loads of injuries. Players slowly coming back. So for them, it's like a combination of both. I think.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
There are definitely
why
positives.
Why is the game still going on? Come on.
It's 4 minutes at a time.
Yeah. Blow the whistle, man. It's
30
like
seconds, 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah, 4 minutes. What am I thinking? I just want to see this half end.
That's what it is. You just want to get to half time quick, mate. That's why.
So I can be like, okay.
Just get a bit of calm.
With David Moyes, your manager, like now, in a situation like this, do you feel confident? Not confident about the second half, but confident about this half-time team talk?
No. Just say it. I've not really seen many games where there's a lot of games where you look and go, what has he said to them in half time? To come out like this. And I don't know. I don't know if he can change it enough to make the difference we win. And he's very cautious. So I feel like he'll get to half time and go, let's see you out for the draw.
Why do you not want to get rid then? Because maybe we can discuss it more in detail because we've got a Chelsea corner coming up. We can discuss more in detail at half time. But everything that you've said so far is very negative about David Moyes. About not playing the right style of football.
Comes in right-footed outswinger from João Felix. Thaddeus Shields rises again.
The thing is,
class of players. And there is half-time. West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Dan gets a little breather, a little reprieve. He's gone through all the emotions. João Felix gave Chelsea a lead after probing from Chelsea, and they were really good. Disallowed goal before that. Then he gets his goal. Chelsea had another disallowed goal before West Ham managed to steady the ship, get their heads into the game. Crossing opportunity from Kufal, headed on from Jarrod Bowen to the back post, and Emerson was there to finish. So, good game. Get involved in the chat, get involved in the comments. If you're just joining us, smash a like on the video and subscribe to DR Sports if you are new. Dan, little bit of calm. You made it to half-time, and West Ham managed to respond.
Yeah, I'm really shocked about that, considering most of our record this season when we go from behind. I was miserable. I thought this is it, game over. We can't create from this. We're just going to be back to the wall all game. And fair play, the players, they did well. They've few opportunities and they made the most of it. And Emerson, debut goal, buzzing for him. You always like to see your new signings get their first goal. And I just feel like I'm hoping that we can carve out some opportunities.
What does David Moyes need to say at halftime? What is he going to say? What do you need to see more of from your team in the second half? What needs to change? Would you make any changes?
I mean, not right now at halftime, maybe a bit later on. We haven't got that many options on the bench that you can really look at and go, yeah, this is what we need to bring on. It would just be a system change and look at and go, okay, maybe we go to a back four.
Danny Ings, goal scorer.
Yeah, I think he's still injured. Is he
on the bench? Yeah, he's on the bench. Yeah, he's on the bench.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lanzini on the bench. Fornal's on the bench.
Yeah, so you got
attacking options.
Yeah, there's options there. Lanzini loves a goal against Chelsea.
Yeah.
So that could be, and he had that famous late equalizer against Spurs. That was just, oh my gosh.
Bring back memory lane.
They bring good memories. Yeah, so there are options there. And like you said, there's Ings is going to give you something different to Antonio. If we go behind, maybe you go two up top with
But Antonio's been good though, hasn't he? Considering he might not be feeding off a lot, and
if he had a good touch, he would be dangerous. Like if he had a good touch, mate, the things he could do. It's honestly, he just needs to work. Well, I can say work on that. He's bloody 33.
Yeah,
so
I think he's, however he is how he's going to be.
That's it. We just have to live with it.
100%. How you saying, Nick? About what you saying about Chelsea's assessment of that half?
Yeah, I mean, lots of the Chelsea fans I know have pretty much written off this season, and saying this is like a work experience season and everything will happen next season. There is a bit of pressure for them to rack up points because, like I said, they need to get into Europe to balance the books in terms of the finances. But there's lots of positives. It's the same. I feel like we say the same thing about Chelsea every week. Lots and lots of positives. Still not quite there. Still bizarrely need a player or two, need number 9, etc. But lots and lots of positives. At first, carving that defensive line open at will, but just not quite getting, obviously, the goals at the end of it. So.
Cucurella, man, and I said this at the start before the game, would be a weakness. Yeah. And he's proven to be that. That's where we're getting the most joy, down our right, down their left-hand side. And he just hasn't worked out this season. And they're going to have to really decide, like, what do we... I mean, they spent a lot of money on the guy.
60-odd million, wasn't it? 60,
yeah.
50, yeah. So, and obviously, they're susceptible to counter-attacks because with you guys' goals... Soufal gets in behind because Cucurella's up high and Reece James is not up high, but he's out of position and not tracking his man at the back post. Exactly. So they are open to counter-attacks because they commit a lot of players forwards. But yeah, it's a really tricky puzzle to figure out for Graham Potter.
It is. Just away from the London Stadium right now, there are other games going on in the Premier League today, other 3 p.m. kickoffs, but your team, Arsenal, are taking on Brentford. Yep. Brentford flying high. I don't think they've lost since, I think October, November, I think someone said to me. 9 games unbeaten. So, a tough Arsenal coming off the back of 2 defeats, is it now? Are you expecting a strong response from your team today?
Obviously I was asking Dan about Moyes, but in terms of Arteta, the confidence I have in him is that, and I don't want to jinx myself, we beat Brentford 3-0 earlier on in the season.
And everyone was saying that was a tricky game.
And we have a really good record under Arteta of bouncing back when we lose games. We don't tend to lose back-to-back games. And when we did lose 2 or 3 on the bounce last season, that was the capitulation and that cost us top 4. We tend to really bounce back quite strongly and maybe even go on a run. That being said, the run that we've got next includes Man City. So it'll be a tough run, but... he's somebody that I have a lot of trust in. If things aren't going right at half time, we always start games really strongly and then start the second half really strongly. So I have a lot of faith in him that we won't fall apart.
Is this a season defining week at Arsenal?
Every week's a season. I mean, you've got to look at the City games really as the season-defining games, I think. We still have Europe to come back later on as well. So, who knows what kind of strength we're going to try and put into that if we're in a race for the title and different things like that. But it feels like every week is a season-defining week at the moment, even with the FFP stuff coming out right when City were already struggling on the pitch. Then, it's when it rains, it pours for them. So every week for us is tough. And we know Arteta has that mentality of every game is a cup final, every game is a cup final. And it really is because, we go from, the media would tell us that we're title hopefuls, and then if we lose or draw, we're bottlers, we're not serious, or we're not ready, or he's a masterclass. Honestly, he puts out cones, he's a PE teacher, and you get back-to-back manager of the months at the same time. So it's a complete mess. But our team and our manager and the players have to put everything out of their head and just focus on the 90 minutes on the pitch. We've beat Brentford 3-0 earlier on in the season. There's nothing stopping us from going on and winning this game. Simple as that.
And before I get Dan's thoughts on this, Arsenal going to win the league? Do you think you will?
Top 4, as I said already, Flex. You know,
You're still mentioning top 4.
Top 4's our listen. You can't.
Top 4's your target.
Listen, top 4 was our
top 4's your target.
He knows what he's doing.
Wow, look at that. Top 4.
Top 4 was our target at the beginning of the season.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Now you're on 50 points, and Tottenham are 5th, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's just look at who's 4th.
Okay.
You got a 10-point gap, but if you look at Tottenham, you got an 11-point gap.
Yeah.
For top 4.
Listen,
is that not in the bag? No.
Chat to me after the City games. Now, all jokes aside, I think that I said before, I think if we get 4 points from the 2 City games, I think we win the league from that position.
I like that. I agree with that.
Yeah. So I said that like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's what I was looking at.
I think even if you beat them once, I think if you beat them on Wednesday,
I think that. But if we can take 4 points from both games, I think that could not psychologically break them, but I think that they'll be in a very bad. They're already on a downward spiral. I think that could be the final boot.
Jason So says, Arsenal fan here. I'm not gassing up for the title, just enjoying the ride.
There you go, Jason, my guy. That's what I'm saying, man. Just enjoy it, man. Just enjoy it. Do you know what it is? It's about narratives, right? We set off the season. I would be really disappointed. Obviously, it would take a bit of a capitulation, but we set off the season 1 in top 4. If we finish second from this position, say like level with points, but got negative goal difference, something like that, because these man like to stat pad against lower league teams. Like the media will go crazy on us and say like, you guys are ballers, you're not serious.
I don't think they should. I don't think 5 points.
I think that would be unfair. That's
definitely unfair. This is not a bottle job. You're not 15
100%.
Points clear with 3 games. That'd be impossible. But do you know what I mean?
That's the point I'm trying to make. So if I'm talking to someone sensible like you, then I'll be like, all right, cool, yeah, we can definitely make a run for the title. But some people are not very sensible out there and really try to just run with the narrative. So I think what you set off with at the start is obviously if we win the league this season, that's massively. Can
I ask you this question? This is just I don't think this will happen. I'm just really interested because you're an Arsenal fan. I want to ask you: if you capitulated and didn't get 4th, is that a sackable offence?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
From 5 points, from 8 points clear.
That is a good bit, yeah.
100%.
Because that would be 8th. What would that be? 8th, 5th, and then.
But I don't care about that. That's
But
from that position, we'd have to lose like 15 to 20 points. Yeah. We've only got.
Well, like I said, there's an 11-point gap.
Yeah, so we'd have to lose. That's losing 4 games.
Yeah.
That's a capitulation.
Right.
100%.
Okay. I just wanted to get that.
That would be hilarious.
I mean, that is not going to happen at all, in my opinion. I think Arsenal finish. I think Arsenal win the league.
You're 100.
I think Arsenal win the league.
That's not just your Man United, Man City rivalry.
No, because to be honest with you, do you know what? As a Man United fan,
we're probably bigger rivals than
Man
City.
Well, this is the thing. As a Man United fan for a while, I was just infatuated of like, I just know way more Arsenal fans. I just don't want them to win the league. I just don't. I just don't. But then the more I just kept thinking about it, I was like, well, as a Man United fan, obviously, look, I don't know a lot of Man City fans. But I was like, why would I want Man City to win 3 titles in a row? Only Man United have done that. Like, why? I don't want that to happen. And actually, Arsenal would actually be good for the league for somebody else to win this thing.
They would be insufferable. They would be beyond insufferable.
The thing of like, but that's like social media noise.
The thing with some Arsenal fans, we're insufferable anyway. So
that's the problem.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't. You're not going to hear that much else new that you haven't already heard.
We're still hearing about they've won trebles and Champions League, but is yours gold? Is yours gold? It's like
gold Premier League's unbelievable, though, isn't it? Yeah. Come on, a gold Premier League's unbelievable.
Arsene Wenger said he'd trade it in for a Champions League.
That's him. I wouldn't.
That's facts.
Trade what in for Champions League?
His
Invincible.
Oh yeah. Well, would you actually? An Arsenal
fan? Yeah, probably.
Because you've never won it.
Yeah, we've never won it.
Yeah, a Champions League.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Come on.
I'd
Wow.
like to say 4 points from City from the 2 City games to win the league.
Do you think you're getting them?
Do you think they're going to win it?
It's looking more and more likely, but I don't know, something in my heart, or maybe it's hopefulness, is that they're gonna just come short. But that's what we never write off Man City.
That's what we're used to. But also, from an Arsenal perspective, we're used to seeing Arsenal come close, but not quite there. That's what for the last 10 years, that's what we've become accustomed to. Do you know what I mean? That's why everyone's looking at City and going, oh, they're going to win the league. Well, that's what we've become accustomed to. A lot of it's recency bias and not looking at necessarily just football on its own. No one saw Leicester come in, and until they won the league. So,
Yeah. like you said, those games are crucial against. I mean, if you was to lose both of them games, do you feel like done?
No, because we see City dropping points at places they shouldn't drop points. You know, City are in that weird form of they could beat a Man United and then lose to.
But do you expect to keep up your form? Because obviously we see you look, we can take the Everton game as a one-off if we like and say
Can't win every game.
Whatever, yeah. Mm-hmm. But do you see a dip? Because you haven't really had a dip this season, and most teams go through it. Late in the season, Europa League starting back up.
Yeah. I think by the time the Europa League starts back up, we would have had 3 or 4 more league games played, one of which was against Man City. And I think that then they'll know what they're prioritising.
But I think that there, though, if you're a real life, if you're not a title pretender, you don't have that dip. I think you lose a game here or there.
Yeah.
But that like winless in 5 and stuff like that. When you go on to win the league, you haven't. That's why you're up. You haven't suffered.
And ending other people's streaks. So Brentford unbeaten in 9. Yeah, but then they played Arsenal.
Like you look at last season, you were massive favourites for top 4, massive favourites, and then towards the end of the season, you start seeing like the Newcastle game. Obviously, go to Spurs. You just
a lot of that is mental and not even football. We lose into teams that we're at the time much better footballers than. Do you know what I mean? Like loads of football is not just about football. It's the same with. Man United fans will tell you that signing Casemiro is huge for the dressing room. Do you know what I mean? You look at all the money that City have allegedly frauded. They can't buy a Champions League. This guy's got 5. So bringing players in like Zinchenko and Jesus that have got 4 Premier League titles, they're gonna know how to manage these situations. Even if they're not playing, they're gonna know how to manage these situations.
I feel like,
and that's the difference. Before we literally had a team of kids. Complete kids.
Yeah, with no winners in there, soft underbellies, roll over, get tickled, men against boys.
100%. And at that point, we were relying solely on playing better football. At the moment, we can play not as good football and still probably grind out a result. And that's what they say is one of the mark of champions. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I agree. I think Arsenal, like I've mentioned a lot of times before, and I reiterate the fact, is that everybody places these what-ifs in front of them. And up to this point, as of today, they've knocked them down. It was, you haven't played anybody. It's only 10 games. It's only this. Then it was when Europa League starts, where they top that group, still top of the league. Then it was what happens if you get a big injury. Jesus gets injured. Eddie Nketiah takes the mantelpiece. What happens if you lose one? They lost against Man United, went on the run. Drew against Southampton, went on a run. So I think what they've done up to this point, all it does is just reaffirm that they're not pretenders so far. And if they don't win it from here and something happened, then that's a different argument.
That's a different conversation.
But as of now, I think they're doing everything they can.
Also, post-World Cup, we're playing football that's a little bit more boring because we have Nketiah up top and he's not as versatile as Gabby Jesus. When Gabby Jesus comes back, we'll be able to play much more of the interplay in football.
Yeah, he does a lot more than that.
He does a lot more than just the scoring of goals. He does a lot more link-up play. We'll see Martinelli and Saka a little bit more unlocked than what we're seeing them at the moment, where they just feed Nketiah at the moment.
Because Nketiah, you can argue, is scoring at a higher rate than what Jesus was, because Jesus was on a barren spell actually before he got injured.
He only got 5 goals.
Do you know what I mean? But then it's similar to like what the Haaland situation is, where one player is scoring all of their goals. And he has got, 24, 25. But collectively, the team may be playing worse. Man City are worse off this season than they were last.
I said this before.
I'm going to quickly run toilet before the second half.
Yeah. For football,
picked the wrong time. It just plays just come out.
For football style, I think Julian Alvarez should be starting 100% for Man City. I said that a few weeks ago. And it was the same at Dortmund. When Haaland was injured, they picked up more points. It was exactly the same situation where this guy's scoring goals. I think you guys have had a similar situation before where there's a focal point. Maybe for you guys it was Ronaldo, Cavani. You've got a target man. He can score goals.
The seasons where we've done all right is when the goals have been shared out.
100%, and that's what we're moving. That's modern football. Is that you're going to distribit the goals.
But sometimes we get infatuated as fans as one guy has to take the glory. He has to be the top scorer and in the best team, or this, that, and the other.
And we don't
Man
have
City
that. We
won
don't
leagues without a striker.
We don't have a talisman player. We don't have a key. Saka's probably the guy that comes through the academy, so he's the star boy that everybody loves, but we don't really have a talisman player like that, and that works perfectly fine for me.
Yeah. Okay, well, it is back to the London Stadium, as it is still 1-1. We're about to kick off for the second half here. They were just zooming in on Mikhail Mudryk, and now they're zooming in on Madueke. I think Mudryk, he was electric when he came on against Liverpool. Then against, what was the game? Was it Fulham after that? No, who did they have after that, Chelsea?
The draw.
It was the draw. Was that Brighton? I can't remember who it was against. Someone put it in the chat.
It might have been Fulham.
I can't remember exactly who it was, but he didn't have the best game. Got taken off at half-time at the Bridge. Who'd they draw?
I think it might have been Fulham.
Fulham at the Bridge. Yeah. Was it Fulham at the Bridge? Someone put it in the chat.
Yeah,
but anyway, his second game wasn't as good.
Yep.
Do you expect more? It was Fulham, yeah. Do you expect them to have...
Well, that second,
him to have more of an impact.
That second game, he had a cold. He was ill, allegedly. So
right,
there's a bit more of a That's
what have you made of him in that first half? And
listen, his pace is a nightmare, and he cuts in. He's not like a byline player where he cuts in late. He cuts in really, really early. Causes all types of problems. If you're not a fullback with good pace, you're going to be in all types of problems with Mudryk. And I think he's just getting warmed up. Obviously he's a player that I like. We obviously wanted him at Arsenal, and I think. If he's managed correctly, the difference with him going there and coming to us is he's a starter at Chelsea. With
exactly,
us,
he wasn't a guaranteed starter.
He would have been able to. That could help him if he's that type of player. But with us, he would be able to get brought in really slowly and develop slowly. So I do think maybe he would have had a better time with us. But I think he's a player of huge potential.
Before I get to Dan, what do you think how do you think this is going to pan out second half?
I still say 2-1 Chelsea. I mean, that's what I said in the beginning. I'll stick with it. I think it will be close, but I think Chelsea will nick it.
Dan?
I'm just
vibes and just, I don't know.
Vibes, pure
nervousness and just not knowing how this is going to play out?
Yeah, exactly. I'm still going to stick and be hopeful that we can nick it 2-1.
Yeah.
And nick it will be the right word.
Yeah.
But... I'm hoping at the very least Moyes has gone into them and instructed them and planned how to stop these balls over the top and these through balls.
Yeah, because that's
leave
been a
less
big problem.
gaps. In the back line. That was the big problem. So if we can deal with that, I think we'll be okay for the most part. They're still going to have chances, but we just got to limit them. If we can limit them and then pick our spots. That's what we got to do, man.
I feel it just looks so comfortable at the ball.
He's so comfortable.
He's gone out of play there, but he just looks comfortable at receiving the ball back to goal, comfortable receiving deep on the half turn, little sets, little.
He's just very, very
he's just
versatile.
a good footballer.
Very, very versatile.
He's just a really good footballer. Yeah, not a prolific goal scorer though, but I think, like you said, stylistically, if he plays in a different team now, which Graham Potter's trying to create. He could improve his output a lot.
Yeah,
I think.
He's definitely got much more to his game than someone like a Havertz. They're very similar.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Very, very similar in terms of not having a defined position and just being able to play in multiple positions. But Felix is just a different level. And I think Chelsea fans will be looking at him and seeing what they've really been missing, I suppose.
Yeah. Having said that, he's just lost the ball there as the ball's
I'll be
been thrown out.
Well done,
Souček.
position again.
Just won it. Mudryk's in though. Oh, he didn't play it. He's gone for the follow-through.
Interesting.
I thought he got the ball there.
He
won the ball back really quickly there, and Mudryk was in, but he chose not to play it. Your boy Souček losing it there.
Loses it, yep. And
got the ball and then had a little kick afterwards. Good block.
You done the block, but
he has a little kick there. Yeah, that's quite cynical. That.
I'm surprised how he didn't get
quite
booked
naughty.
for that.
Yeah,
that is.
Yellow.
Hopefully that shakes him up a bit. I'd be interested to hear from the Chelsea fans actually if the performance they've seen, because Potter started to have his doubters. I started seeing Potter out.
Already, What do you think of that? Do you think he needs time? Obviously, rivalry. You don't want the best for Chelsea.
No, exactly.
As a neutral,
I feel like you have to. You have to give him time. Like Chelsea, the culture has to change. Like you're spending this much money. Obviously, Bowley's decided that's his guy. You've got to just see where it goes. Like this whole thing of changing managers all the time. Like let's just ride with it. He's obviously a quality manager, Potter. He's not a big name manager. But there's something there, and I'll be interested to see if what they've seen now with the new signings that have come in. Because as well, most of this team, and that's what I said before, like when they had that bad spell, most of the team wasn't his team, weren't his players, all the players that he had. Now he's starting to get them in. Is this giving Chelsea fans a little bit more hope that, you know what, maybe Potter can actually get us to where we want to be?
And there are some little glimpses, like you said, they're not there yet, because clearly this was a game where they were very comfortable, could have been 2 or 3 up with marginal offsides, but comfortable, but find themselves at 1-1. So I agree, and I'm just looking, that's bad there. Had a chance to have a transition there, and I'll tell you what, it's Loftus-Cheek, comes to Madueke. feints left, feints right. Well stood up by Emerson. I was just going to say there, because he's saying sorry there. He knows it's his fault. I'm just looking at, they've got a flat back five there. They're just waiting for, trying to contain Chelsea and pretty much hit them on the break, Nick.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Chelsea are not playing the football that they were in the first half.
No, that's a loose pass there as well.
They've started to
Souček.
They've started to go long, which they weren't doing in the first half. So they've definitely changed it and trying to be a little bit more direct and less of the silky. Oh, it's a great overlapping run.
Oh, that's it. Come on. Oof. This is where
this is where they can break. This is where they can break. Someone's got to go with him though. Rice.
Antonio's got to make the run. He does make the run. It's bad as Shields. He holds it up well. He does really
Come
well.
on,
Play it.
Foul.
Play
Come
it.
on.
Oh, he's got to play that first
Where the hell is Jared Bowen?
That's not a foul.
Bowen, did he get subbed off?
He tried to buy a foul.
Where is he? What's he doing?
Yeah, that's really poor from Jared
You're the
Bowen.
right
really,
winger.
really
Why
poor.
is he in centre midfield?
Yeah.
Good tackle again. Declan Rice picks it up. Chelsea being a bit
Now
careless
move,
here, but
you
they're
clown.
not going forward quickly,
Come
are
on.
they? Now Bowen picks it up, goes on a gallop, finds Kufal. Antonio's making late run into the box.
Is this instructions from
Bowen
Moyes
picks
or
it up. He's got
what?
Badershield just behind him.
Very strange decisions here from West Ham. They've had a couple opportunities. They don't really want to.
They're not bombing forward, are they? It's like they don't believe they can go for the kill.
One of our biggest attacking threats.
Having said that, though, here's Kehrer. Good feet on the edge. Is that a foul? No, it's not a foul. Looked like he tripped him up a little bit, but he's out of position.
Well, ref played the advantage. We was better off taking the free kick.
Poor from Mudryk again, loses the ball. I tell you what, it's a bit of basketball here. Very good from both teams there, keeping the ball.
Movement. Give us some players. Don't just stand there.
2 or 3 times where the opportunity to attack West Ham, and they're just passing the ball backwards.
We're not making that passes quick enough. Ben Rama's moving and he wants the ball. It's just
they're trying to build their confidence, playing a little bit of football.
Playing for the game.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and you was talking, Nick, about like the counter-attacking, and that's what we're trying to do. This is where we miss a player like Cornet, who's got pace.
You pass bloody
hell. Dear.
You missed that.
I did, I was looking.
Souček, that is shocking. I tell you what.
I told you.
Who gives him? I think it's Agard gives him the ball like a metre away, and it's like, why are you giving it to me here? But also, Souček, he just plays a shocking pass straight
he just kicks
out.
the ball out.
What did I say? What did I say?
That was
why do you said that you'd like to give Moyes till the end of the season? What based on what? Because like I said before,
based on lack of options.
Based on this, Nick, they're still in the game fighting, mate. But they might lose.
Yeah, like the thing is, I don't want to get someone in that we're just getting in because there's no one else, and then we're stuck with them for the next few seasons. Like I want to get the next appointment right. And get someone quality. And that's the only reason. There's nothing about what Moyes, a belief in Moyes. And like I said, unless I feel like, geez, this guy's really going to take us down.
Reece James in a wide position. Great ball in from Reece James. I tell you what, Ogbonna does just enough. He does just enough. He gets on the end of it, and he doesn't get a clean connection. It's not a clearance from Ogbonna. He's fairly lucky.
It worked out better than the clearance, really.
It worked out better than the clearance because it goes safely into the hands of Fabianski.
Yeah.
But what a ball in from Reece James. And that is something that is synonymous with Reece James. We talk about Trent and how good his delivery is and how good he is with the ball at his feet. And Reece James also possesses that ability as well. But here's a little run here. Oh, he's offside. He's offside.
But yeah, like I said, like Cornet would have been great for this game because he has that pace. But I
forgot about him.
He's a baller.
Oh my! I forgot about Maxwell Cornet. He's got a long-term injury.
He's got a mysterious injury. Apparently, it's an ultra-rare injury, like only one other player has had in football. And we don't know what
I thought he still played for Burnley. I forgot he was at West Ham.
He might as well have. One of the last games he played was against Chelsea, where he had that goal wrongly
ruled out.
When
what's his name come out?
That's why I want to see in this game. I want to see us win with a dodgy VAR decision.
Yeah, you were robbed.
I want to see us rob them. I want to see their tears because of what happened to us.
It is a corner to Chelsea.
Come on, let's do this.
If you're just joining us, smash a like on the video, subscribe to DR Sports. If you are new, remember there is a membership that you can also join. You're going to get exclusive content and members-only content in that as well. So if you would like to join that, make sure you do. And it's Chelsea 1, West Ham 1 at the London Stadium. Corner comes in, swung in by João Felix into the hands of Fabianski.
Quick.
Is there a counter-attack? He's looking to throw it out quickly. He has thrown it quickly, and he's thrown it to Bowen.
That's it.
And it is 3-on-3 here with players running back.
Across.
Chelsea get more back. Oh, it's the wrong pass from Bowen. He tries to play in Antonio, and Chelsea get the ball. Nearly a counter-attack there, Dan. But Chelsea giving it away again, and it's Enzo Fernandez this time.
See what happens when you press? See what happens?
Yeah.
Back to this basketball.
Graham Potter won't be happy with this from Chelsea because they are giving the ball away. quite easy, but not many numbers forward here. There's only 3 players forward here for West Ham. They're taking a while to get back. It's Declan Rice takes a shot from distance. And about a couple of foot wide.
That would have added 15 mil to the price.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's destined to score against
Declan Rice,
Chelsea.
that's something that he's spoken about in interviews. How do West Ham fans feel about it? How do you feel about it in terms of he needs to score more goals? Does he need to score more goals, or is it not really part of what he's known for?
I think the word is more want than need.
Okay.
He wants to score. He says need, but really he wants to score more. He wants to add that to his game and help the team and be one of these midfielders that can contribute with goals. I mean, he's never going to be the next Lampard, but you know, if he can add about 6 goals, 7 goals a season to his game.
Yeah, and you know what? He's a good striker of the ball. Yeah. I think if he's as good as, you know, the forecast projects him to be, he should be able to add that to his game. And when he has scored goals before, you know, he scored some good strikes.
Yeah,
you know,
he has.
Where you think actually he could probably do that a little bit more. I think I was listening to Stuart Pearce talking about him. Might have been on TalkSport one time, but he was saying, because at the time when he was obviously still coaching there, is he still coaching there?
No.
Oh, well, when he was saying he had conversations with Declan Rice about that. That's a great ball there. Oh,
nice one, Kerr.
Yeah, he had to get that. It was a really good ball from Fernandes.
Good strength from Rice as well on Madueke.
Yeah. What have you made of Madueke in this game?
It's pretty quiet in this game, but they're obviously targeting that left side. Most of the actions come from the left-hand side from Chelsea as they go again. So he hasn't really got involved too much. But he's a player. It's another free kick from Mudryk. But he's a super talented player.
Yeah,
super talented player.
Card as well.
Wait, he's giving it to Kerr? Oh no, Sue foul.
Yeah, mate. He could have done the most lightest of foul, whatever his next foul was going to be, and that is it's just a silly. It hasn't tackled very well at all. He's clattered 2 players, and that's another clumsy one there. That's been a long time coming. That yellow card in this game. To be fair,
what?
He's done well to wait to the 55th minute to get booked.
We might have to look at that and potentially bring him off for Johnson because he could potentially get a red card.
Yeah, because if you're looking at if you're Mikhailo Mudryk now, you haven't had the best of games, but now you're looking at running at Kufal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And
just
that's
put that
dangerous
pressure on him, make him get another booking.
Yeah, right. So it's a free kick outside the West Ham box, away to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Reece James standing over it, and the left-footed Madueke also standing over it. Surely it would be an in-swinger, you would suspect, with Reece James's quality from this area.
Too many. We're giving them too many free kicks on the edge of our box.
West Ham trying to stay as high as they can, considering how close to the penalty area the free kick is. I think that's as high as they could possibly go. Thiago Silva standing in offside position just to give them something to think about. Craig Pawson waiting to blow his whistle, hasn't done so yet. Does so now. Madueke steps over, ball comes in from Reece James, and it is just wide.
Oh my!
Wow, that is. I couldn't even see who headed that actually, but it is inches wide. Oh, it is.
Oh my God.
It's off Antonio, and it should be a corner. It is a whisker away from being an own goal from Mikel Antonio there.
It sort of breezed past his hair, wasn't it?
Like, let's see a different angle and see if that was going in.
Have they given the corner? I think they have. They have given the corner.
Breezed just past the post.
Good defensive header though, to be fair to him, because who knows where the ball comes in from João Felix. Headed away there as well by Kera and out to Cucurella, who they force him back to the keeper. West Ham get a bit of reprieve.
Yeah, that was a bit nervy, man, and nearly put in. It just breezed past that post, and oh my God, a few inches to the left, mate. That's in.
Yeah,
Chelsea players, they're just in so much space. These Chelsea players. That's poor
nice
pass.
one, Benny.
Just a quick reminder to you guys, there's nearly 2,500 people watching live, and straight after this, which is the 12:30 kickoff, it is going to be the Saturday football show. And good clearance there. Not quite clear. The Mudryk wasn't expecting that and puts it out for a goal kick. But yes, the Saturday football show will be coming at you straight away after this. You've got Cams, Tosin, Fuad and James Toon will be taking you through the 3 p.m. kickoffs. That will be Arsenal versus Brentford. Crystal Palace taking on Brighton. Fulham taking on Nottingham Forest. Interesting game that. Leicester City taking on Spurs. 3 p.m. kickoff. Can Spurs, with a new signing of Porro, with Harry Kane the leading goal scorer, can they resurrect their hunt for top 4. You've also got Southampton versus Wolves as well, with Southampton fighting at the foot of the table with a resurgent
We'll be looking
Lopetegui
at that one
Wolves side.
closely for sure.
Exactly. So make sure you tune in for the Saturday Football Show. Always a bunch of fun on there, guys, as well. And get involved in the chat as well. Let us know how you're feeling about this game. Are Chelsea going to get that winner? Are Chelsea going to take the game away from West Ham? Are West Ham going to stun Chelsea and come back from a goal down? Well done, Mikel Antonio. Put it
Keep
about.
fighting, that's it.
Well done. Fight again. That's what you love, innit? Tooting Mitchum's finest. Look at that.
Good build-up
Look at
play
that.
from them, generally, including Souček as well, to start
Yeah.
playing these cute little passes. They can do it. They don't do it enough.
See what
So
I mean? You see what I mean? with
But I have to say,
Commentator's curse.
he is stiff. Like, he just moves
But most
like an
players
Arctic
like that.
lorry, bro.
Most-
Like, he can't
most players that
turn,
are that big
can't sort his
are.
feet out quick enough. The only thing he can do is just get the ball, like I said, with loads of space and set someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a threat on set pieces.
But Joyce, once he turns and gets that one pass away,
Oh
we
my
just need to
God.
ignore him. Just pretend he's not that.
Bro.
We can't keep playing back
No,
to him again.
no.
Just get away from him.
I mean, and again, no disrespect to Souček, which technically it is disrespect, but but you know, from Paquetá to him is
It's
just
a massive drop off.
Huge drop.
And
Yeah.
Jesus.
what I don't understand is some of our fans saying, "Oh, Flynn Downs is the Declan Rice replacement. He's the Declan Rice replacement." I'm not seeing it because Moyes don't play. He plays Souček over him. Why not play the guy?
Madueke, poor pass.
That's
terrible.
That's
That pass or a
not
bad
been good
touch?
for Chelsea. Have been poor this second half. I'm going to say.
Really, really poor. They
Yeah.
haven't what you want from your
They're not
manager
doing anything.
is to take that first half
Well done,
performance and build on it, and they haven't built on it. They've gone backwards. Interesting pass
You
there.
can see the way he hit
Right
the ball. It
idea,
was just
but
the
poor.
execution.
I thought he was going to
was
send
wrong.
it. I thought he was going to switch it, but
Yeah, it was poor. Was that Ben Rama there?
Yeah.
Poor, giving away the ball. Both teams here in the
pass-
second half.
The pass selection is strange. West Ham are struggling to pass the ball, but then they're trying the most difficult, intricate passes imaginable.
Because I think that's all we
Well
can
done,
do.
Emerson.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. Like, we're just hoping one of them comes off because we're sitting so deep. And you notice the ball's over the top and the through balls have stopped.
Yeah.
Because we're a lot deeper now and we're closing the gaps a bit more. But that gives us a problem when we do want to have an
Another
outlet.
foul
now.
on Felix. He's been fouled loads.
Starts it up quickly.
Yeah, just wants to get on with it. Chelsea being the aggressors here, trying to move the ball a little bit quicker. Reece James on the right wing back situation. Good cross. Well cut out by Aguerd. The ball's up in the air though. Good held it by Souček and again by Aguerd and again by Declan Rice, and they finally clear it, but only to Loftus-Cheek at the edge of the area. Who gets the ball, is going to swing in the cross. Does so, hits a
I wonder if
Another
there
corner,
were two
man.
opportunities
Emerson, goes
there
up for a
to head it
corner.
straight back to the goalkeeper. There was no one around them. I don't know. Obviously, it's a risky strategy. But I don't know if
Oh,
seen
Mason
enough.
Mount.
Fabianski was talking to them and letting them know because he was open to get passed back to there. They didn't need to do that, but
Let's be safe.
Yeah, right positioning there from Emerson. But Graham Potter looks like he's sending on Mason Mount.
who's coming off then for Mount? Do you reckon?
It's got to be. I don't know. It won't be. Would he play Mount next to Enzo Fernandez that deep?
Oh. Be
Mudryk
interesting.
hasn't been great. if
Yeah,
I'm
that
honest.
could be the because he
Mudryk
does
hasn't
play
been
on the
great.
wing sometimes.
If I'm him, I'll take off Mudryk.
Although
put him
he
there.
has been causing Seafowl a few problems,
Yeah.
so it's a case of do you keep
But
him on and
Madueke
try
hasn't
and-
been great.
Yeah,
what
I
you
thought
can
it
do
could be
is
Madueke. Oh, he-
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a for
Okay.
Madueke hasn't been great. I
Yeah.
think, and he's a young player just coming for his. I think it's his first start, so likely to be him
Yeah.
as well.
Come on. I feel like there's a winner on this either side.
Yeah. You just want West Ham to believe a little bit more. That's a good ball there.
Come
as well,
on.
too far. There's no one in the box.
Yeah, exactly.
But now there is.
Oh,
It's a great
oh.
ball. Ooh.
Jared Bowen just he's hiding in these games.
Don't foul him.
He's not getting involved enough.
No,
That's
and
what
that
I
is
mean.
that is the man you want the ball to fall to.
Yeah.
Jared Bowen. The ball's just gone out
He
there.
doesn't bust the gut to try and get into that box and get on the end. I don't know
But
why.
Danny Ings.
Ings and Downs.
It sounds like your manager David Moyes has listened to you,
He's
Dan, because
listened.
these are two very positive changes about to come from West Ham.
Yeah, big time. So I expect them to go to back four.
Yep.
He's probably going to put Downs. I hope he don't play Downs as a number 10. He's done that before. And he's not a number 10.
Souček's come on as a sub. He ain't coming off, and he was Declan Rice.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. So he's probably going to put him there. But and then Ings.
Straight
Ooh.
swap.
Could he go 4-4-2?
Take off a defender. Can't
Yeah,
see
I
Moyes
wouldn't-
doing
I
that.
don't-
I
yeah.
can't see him going to a back four. Can you? Can you see him doing that?
I can't see him doing it. I mean, I'm trying
Okay,
to think
you might.
logically of what
Yeah.
what I would do, but yeah,
I think he takes
does
off
like
Ben
for
Rama
like.
and Antonio.
That's poor. If he does that, you might as well just be saying like, let's just get a draw, because that's not positive. Because Ben Rama.
But then Flynn Downs, can he play on the
left?
left? No, he'll have to change shape though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Flynn Downs is a
That's handball, isn't
DM.
it? No, it's not.
It looked like handball
a handball from Reece James, but it's not. It's a ball into the back post.
it?
Well done, Fabianski.
He's a
Actually, he probably will have to change the shape.
Yeah.
Actually.
He's a DM or a centre midfielder, Downs. But Moyes has for some reason tried to play him as number 10 at times.
Or what he could do is take off Ben Rama and have a 3 in midfield and go with 2 up top.
Yeah. That. So
and
you
go,
got that.
and
option.
go with Ings and
Antonio.
Yeah, because Ings and Bowen if he doesn't take him off.
I would rather keep Antonio because
for 5-3-2.
Antonio can hold up the ball, knock it down, get Ings on the end of it.
Yeah.
And for me, Bowen isn't doing enough to get into that box.
Well, the type of thing is the type of striker. Oh, he's lucky there.
so risky.
He's very risky there. That's a good ball. Hold it.
That's
Oh,
it.
Great
Turn,
turn by Antonio and
Benny!
Badashields comes
take
back
that, we'll
and
take
makes a
that.
foul and receives a
book
yellow
in.
card as well.
Great from
and I tell you what, you
Antonio.
might be talking
Top
about
turn.
taking him off, but this is what Antonio has done really well.
Yeah.
If he takes him off, he's a clown.
Maybe really, if he
I think-
what would be a
I
good
think-
thing to go
Bang.
with 2 up front.
I think they'll need 2 up front. Ings against this back 4.
Yeah.
I know Badiashiel's now on a yellow, but Ings
Yeah.
against this back 4.
That
This
is a foul as well.
pretty strong back
And
4.
Ings can play in it too. He
Ings on
plays-
his own is not going to be able to pull you back into this game.
No.
I think you need both. You're going to need Antonio up there to hold the ball up and create opportunities, and Ings to come in and do the finishing.
So actually, what I think would be a smart move is for David Moyes to go over 3-5-2, take off Bowen or Ben Rama, and go with Downs, Souček, and Rice, and then up top I would go with Antonio and Ings.
Yeah, I think that's the most sensible option. I've taken
Yeah.
Antonio off now.
Because look at that, really, that was a bit of a baptism of fire to the Premier League in terms of young kid coming in, experienced player like Antonio. You got too tight, you get rolled.
Yeah.
That's what it is, mate. You know, that's
Yeah.
what it is. So yeah, let's see
And
what
all
he
game,
does
it's
with these
really, all
changes.
game, Antonio's been holding it up and holding it up. So that's what they were expecting him to do. So that's why he gets so tight, and then all of a sudden the turn comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Antonio's
he's not bad.
Antonio's done. You know, he's done what it says on the tin. That is, he's shooting from there.
What?
Bloody hell.
Oh,
It's a
we
corner,
got
though,
a
to
corner
be
out
fair
of it.
to him.
Fair enough, Benny.
But Ben Rama, wow,
Jeez.
that was miles out.
But I don't know. Like,
Might have been swerving. You're not sure if it was
He could
swerving.
have gone
right.
in that side.
But there's a corner. There's a corner
We'll take
anyway, and a
that.
chance to get some of the big boys forward. I
It's a better
guess gone
scoring
up.
Yeah, I
opportunity.
think Ben
Ogbonna.
Rama or Bowen have to come off. Neither of them have really imposed themselves on the game enough.
Exactly.
I think he might keep Bowen on because he's a bit more
Great
direct.
ball in. Kepa stuck underneath it. Oh,
So
has a little bit of a
close.
flap.
Ben Rama
Has a
again.
little bit of a flap. Ben Rama gets
come
it.
on, Said.
1-on-1 against João Felix, of all people, at the right back position. Madueke deep as well.
Go on.
Hangs it up by Antonio.
He wants to be on the receiving end,
Yeah,
but really.
he's
Yeah,
got to
there's
watch the
no-
counter attack here now.
That's where you
As
want
Chelsea
Souček
look to
in the
break.
box.
Mudryk. Oh, God. Long comes Declan Rice, but he misses out to Havertz. Great tackle
Handball.
there.
Shouts for a foul.
Oh, he's giving it
Handball.
the other way.
Handball. Is
Yeah,
that
he's
West
coming
Ham
the
foul?
swiping motion. He's saying he's going to a bit of a swiping motion from Havertz as Craig Pawson gives a free kick in and around the centre circle.
And interesting,
See
both
that
managers
again?
Well
want
done,
to
Demi.
make changes
Oh.
at the same time as well. Like they've both had enough.
Yeah, exactly. They've both seen enough.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it was an honest tackle. It was an honest
I
tackle.
don't even think that's a foul.
Yeah,
to be honest with
that
you.
was a 50-50. That could have gone either way. And it looks like it is
Ben Rama
Ben
coming off?
Rama. Doesn't look too happy. Is he walking off? Yes, he is.
Oh,
And he's
my
taken
God.
off Antonio, though. He
That's
has
a
taken off
mistake.
Antonio.
Why?
That feels
Look,
like a
and
bit-
Downs and Ben Rama and Antonio in for Ings.
So is
It's
he going
just
to put Downs on the left?
yeah. Where is he?
Because Ben Rama was playing on the left. They're playing
Yeah.
with it was like a 5 and then 2 central midfielders and 3. But let's have to see. And it is Mudryk to come off
Yeah.
for Chelsea.
I'm
Not
really-
surprised. Underwhelming for Mudryk, would you say?
He was doing a lot of good things. He was cutting in, trying to hit that reverse pass, but it was just too one-dimensional. It worked early on when they didn't know it was coming. Cut in on the right foot, do a reverse pass, slotting people in behind. But after 20, 30 minutes, once the defenders figured out, okay, this is what you're going to do, that's really all he did after that.
Yeah. And Ben Chilwell has entered the fray now and come on for Cucurella. And also Ziyech is the person who is the player who's
Three
come on for
substitutions, man.
for Mudryk. And Mason Mount is the player who comes
so
on
who's
for
going wide
Madueke. I mean,
Because Mount's not going to go wide, is he? So
no,
are
he
they
probably
gonna
played
play
just off the
narrow?
front. Probably he could put João Felix on the wing, probably.
Come on, let's do.
Havertz is still on the pitch as well, isn't he?
Moving João Felix out of position to accommodate Mount is...
But João Felix can play there up there. He's
He
played
can.
up front for Atletico. They've got to win this. Got to
Both
make
managers
sure.
making changes.
Exactly. Both managers seen enough.
But
And actually, both teams were a bit flat.
This is what I said at the beginning. This is why I edged it towards Chelsea, just because of the depth that they've got in this squad.
Be strong.
Yeah.
You've got to say the Chelsea subs are a lot more.
Oh, of course.
you know.
That's a great. Oh, I'll tell you what.
That's what we want you for,
It's the boy.
Souček, man. If you don't do
But
anything
to be
else.
fair, who jumps in front of him? He probably thinks they're going to header it. I think it's Badia Shields who's in front of Souček here, and he thinks he's probably going to header it.
Come on, let's have
But
Danny.
he sees it all the way, though. He sees it all the way. And Thiago Silva, right there, he turns around and shouts straight at Badia Silva, saying, listen, you got caught under the ball there. Not good enough.
Come on, let's have Danny Ings' debut goal today. See, I'm really trying. Look, so you got Emerson. I think you might have put Emerson on the left wing
Emerson's,
there, and then moved Aguerd to Aguerd's gone left back
left,
because he can play left back.
Exactly.
So,
So
he's
he's got
gone
left
to a
wing
back
back.
four then.
No, I think he's kept the same shape.
No, because Aguerd was centre back. So if he's moved Emerson to left wing,
Oh, yeah, so he's
and
gone
moved
up.
Aguerd to left back.
Yeah,
then
so
he's
he has
got
gone to the
Kerr
back
and
four.
Bonner as a back two. Yeah, so
Flynn Downs is playing in the 10.
I don't know.
Oh, he's in. He's
Ben
in.
Chilwell's
Ben
in.
Chilwell's in.
He's
He's
got-
got. Can he get it across? Oh, well
Good tackle.
done. I tell you
Good
what,
tackle.
Aguerd come across, and that is fantastic because I tell you what, all Ben Chilwell has to do is square that, and João Felix has an empty, or clear one-on-one. He's
And the
onside.
pigeons again.
Them pigeons.
Another great player that's been plagued by injuries.
he's done really
Chilwell,
well there.
you know.
Yes, massively. João Felix gives him a hug there because he realises the position they were in there. And this is just it, the wealth of riches that Chelsea have. They make changes. You're bringing on Chilwell. You're bringing on Mount. You're bringing on Ziyech.
These are players that teams would kill to have like in their starting 11, like Chilwell and them. Like,
Yeah,
you
well
know.
done. Ogbonna gets his head on that from a corner, out by Declan Rice to follow up.
This is I just
Mason
don't
Mount picks
get
it up.
like if we win, like then you Hal Moyes is a genius. But
Yeah,
other, if
good
we
ball
if you
between the
don't,
lines there, picks it up to Ziyech from
head scratcher.
Reece James. Mason
Thing is with
Mount's
Chelsea,
actually on the right
they
at the
can
minute.
make subs. They're not really. They've changed the style, but it doesn't really drop the quality of football player.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
no. I mean, you buy as much if they've bought. That's
Exactly.
100%. That is a byproduct of that.
Come on, West Ham.
Because even our teams, both as big six teams, you know, when you bring players off the bench, it's going to drop in that quality, and
Yeah.
it's just not a problem that they have. And I think it's probably them and City in the last couple of seasons, maybe not
Yeah,
now, that have had that,
exactly, 100%.
been able to do that.
Well done,
Forward
Emerson.
touch
Nice.
from Reece
Yeah,
James.
really well done by Emerson there. Nearly a foul there by
Come on,
by
Souček.
Chelsea, but Souček does well to keep hold of it. Goes for the nutmeg. Oh, well, Craig Wilson's blowing the whistle.
All right,
Do
he's
you know
giving us
what?
a free kick.
I don't want to jinx it, Dan, but this game does have 1-1 vibes right now. Is that Gareth Southgate's son?
Based on his blazer alone,
He
I
looks
think
happy.
He
it's
just looks like
Southgate.
he's dressed up like his dad to go to the football, but it might not be. But yeah. Yeah, it just feels a bit 1-1-ish.
Yeah,
Chelsea
I
not,
see
you know,
that.
obviously at any moment they possess players which we've seen that in an instance
Yeah.
that cannot be the case, having played not very well for large parts. But it does feel a bit like a draw.
It does. I think there can be a twist in this game.
Yeah,
but
20 minutes
it
left, long time.
really wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I'm
It's always doing something to annoy someone. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
I'm just trying to see what we could potentially do. The Antonio substitution baffled me.
Yeah, do you think he maybe shouldn't have taken him off?
No, like he was one of the biggest threats. Yeah, he's giving us another free kick
Yeah.
there. They've had 71%.
Yeah, I was
possession.
surprised. Yeah, there you look, match stats, 71% possession for Chelsea. But in the second half, I have to say, when you're thinking they were disappointed from getting pegged back to 1-1.
Oh, come on!
It's Souček.
Get it! Oh!
He gets
That's a
it. It's got a
great
left foot
touch.
shot coming up.
Oh,
Oh,
just
why didn't he shoot?
Just someone shoot!
Don't know why he didn't. do
Why? Souček
Didn't
could have
trust
shoot.
his
Soufal
Soufal.
could have shoot.
Didn't trust left foot, but they've done well to win it back there. Soufal in a tackle
Oh
with joined
my
with Souček.
God! Get up, Bowen, man. How was no one taking the shot there? From there.
Just swing it in. He swings
Come
it
on.
in.
Oh,
Oh, Danny Ings wants a penalty. He's never going to get one for that. He just falls over.
But again,
And
Bowen's
Chelsea
in a
get it clear.
position to demand the ball there, and he just
Yeah.
doesn't really. He just doesn't seem to. He's a bit of a passenger.
No, yeah. Game getting a bit bitty here. People trying to. It's Bowen. He's not going to get a penalty for that.
They are
He's
trying to
not going
buy
to get a
Come on,
penalty for
every
that.
possible penalty
No,
that they
he's
can.
never going to get a penalty for that. No.
VAR.
He has a collision. He's going to make sure he stays down so it goes to VAR. Chelsea on the counter-attack though now.
Oh.
And João Felix is one on...
Oh, these bloody
And
pigeons,
he's blown.
man. Oh,
It's blown because of a head injury, though, because he stayed down holding his face.
Don't get me excited.
Yeah. I will be massively surprised if this is a
Jaw.
penalty.
Let's have a look.
Before that,
No,
Souček does a great little back heel.
He does.
There's a great little back heel for Soufal on the edge of the box, right on the corner of the box, and just doesn't. Nah, it's 50-50 challenge, no way.
it's
Either one of them could have
it's
took
not
a
a foul.
shot, either Souček or Soufal.
Yeah.
But there's a couple
Rick
of
James
times
laughing about it. He knows
he's got
that's
the ball out wide, and Bowen doesn't.
David Moyes going mad.
He doesn't run in behind and create space for himself. He doesn't come feet and demand the ball. He's just standing there, not really imposing himself on the game, which is really, this is a guy that was touted to be in the England team a couple of seasons ago and looked at to have that type of potential, and just doesn't really.
After that big season that he had, he dropped off.
Yeah.
Was it last season? Was where he was really good, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he dropped off massively. This year.
It's been a massive.
David Moyes is going mad here. I don't know. A minute ago, I don't know if he expects a pen for that.
I think he's
Probably
he's
mad
trying to
at
put pressure on the. If there is one later, he wants this pressure already
Yeah.
built up. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a performance. But only Arteta goes mad on the sideline apparently.
I'm fascinated by these pigeons, man. They
just won't go away. It's that
they'll
same
just
little
move
family,
from
innit?
spot to spot. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
West
they
Ham
got better
pigeons.
movement than Souček.
Come on, Chelsea, says Zixi. That's Sunderland's only claim to fame, says Spacebar. Don't think Pep has one yet, says Dark by Design. Flawless reminded me of last season with Odegaard. Just bloody shoot, says Andy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Ball in! Oh! Havertz was probably
I do
just
not want that little shit to
and
score
you know what?
against
This is
us,
what Ben Chilwell is renowned for: galloping runs, fantastic deliveries, and I think that Kai Havertz was probably just too far over the front hand post there. Yeah, and he could never direct it back
Bit
the
of
other way.
pressure
But
from
yeah.
Ogbonna.
And
Good
Chilwell's
pressure from Ogbonna as well.
He's
head
just
to
so
head, man.
direct. He doesn't have to
defender.
have the perfect angle. He's just going to try and whip a ball into the danger area as much
Yeah.
as possible. So.
Yeah, it's actually good defending from Ogbonna. He's on his man and making sure Kai Havertz can't get an easy header there. And even if Ogbonna wasn't there, like I said, Kai Havertz is so far past the near post that would be really
very,
hard
very
to
difficult
direct
to whip
back.
it backwards.
But a little bit of threat from and a little bit of a reminder of what Jay will get you.
Yeah, already more threat than Cucurella.
Yes.
In 60 minutes of football.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not a change. That
15 minutes left of the game, just heading into the 75th minute now. Attempts on goal in the second half, 9 attempts in general, 9 from Chelsea. And only 1 in the second half, 6 in the first half from West Ham, and 4 in the second half.
More attempts.
So more attempts, and this is what I mean. Look at them. Them pigeons are taking the piss.
Yeah.
They're literally
About
like
12
pecking. If they put like little
chilling.
bird food down there, they're literally just eating food on the grass.
That, you know what? If we was
And
going
go away.
if we was going against Liverpool, Klopp would use that as an excuse. The
Yeah.
pigeons on the
He would-
pitch.
or Ty would.
Yeah, exactly.
If Arsenal are playing there.
Them pigeons.
And what about the pigeons?
Yeah, what?
Those pigeons. Nobody said
Disgrace.
anything about the pigeons.
Another
Was that a
great-
handball?
another
They
great
won a
back
handball
heel.
for that.
Come on, let's have VAR.
I don't think it was though.
I need to see the replay, man.
West Ham are asking for anything.
They
The
got
pitches
to.
are still there.
Relegation football.
A bit of a messy game now.
That's
a little
it.
bit of a run here.
Is that?
This is where you
Joe
want
Bowen, this is
Antonio
where you
on.
want him. Blocked.
You get-
Enzo Fernandez keeps the ball in.
Been quiet, Enzo. I haven't heard
He
much.
has,
I haven't said his
yes.
name much for the second half.
Yeah,
And
I ain't
Quieter than the first half.
based on how the first half was, only having 1 attempt against West Ham's 4 is really, really disappointing. You've got to say it from a Chelsea perspective. Obviously, they've got the talent there to make something happen, but you want to be building on that first half performance, and they've just really struggled to do that.
The pitches are in the middle of the pitch.
It is crazy.
They
just
are
move from
taking that
spot to
absolutely. I hate to keep mentioning the same thing. It's because
are-
they're just ever present.
you
They're
can't-
just dotting around the
You
pitch.
can't ignore them. They are really.
And you know what I've realised? This is mad off topic, yeah?
Go on.
Birds are getting brave, you know. You know when you're driving and they're in the road, like and
Yeah.
you're thinking any moment now they're just going to fly.
Yeah,
up.
yeah, they're
They're
just-
letting you go right up before they move, you know, making you
Last
think.
possible
"Bruh."
Pigeons doing that to your car.
Yeah, like they're
Yeah,
paying
go
the road
round.
tax around here, bro. Get out of the way. I mean, pigeons are getting brave now.
Yeah, and we're
To the
seeing
point
it
where on a
today.
Saturday, 12:30, mate, they're flipping on the pitch.
Yeah, 22 blokes running around. They don't phase.
They don't care. We got the pigeons, mate.
It's but no, or is it? I'm really trying to clock. Has he really put Downs on the wing? Because or is it a case of?
I mean,
Good ball in.
the fact that we
well
don't know
done,
is a
headed
bigger
out by
problem.
Ogbonna.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really trying to
Violet
figure
and Rice.
You
out.
can't actually figure out where this lad's playing. Great interception there.
I think he's playing just behind Danny Ings.
It's weird.
Because look where he is now. He's not playing wide.
No, but some people.
But now he's going to run out there when you don't have the ball. So now he is.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's almost like it's like a 5-3-2. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, that's a good ball. Well done, Fabianski. That's great overlapping from
defending.
It's all right.
Why is it with TV that has the perspective, man?
You know when we're just neutral, we just don't have that level of like emotion in the game, and like, but we all know what it's like.
This is poor defending. Who is that? 27.
That's
terrible.
Let's make him out, get down the side of him.
He's defensively, he's been terrible. I think he made 1 or 2 decent tackles.
Well, yeah, like about 10 minutes ago, he stopped João Felix getting in. But
you can play the ball inside so easily when he's defending.
Yeah, well done, Fabianski. Good anticipation there. He had to be there. Instead of just being a passenger and waiting for his defenders to deal with it, it was good positioning by Fabianski. Not surprised to see Loftus-Cheek taken off. Hasn't been great overall today, has he, Nick?
No, he had a couple of moments early on when he wanted to get on the ball, carry it forward. That's what he's most known for. Bit of a like-for-like change with Gallagher, because he's also a progressive ball carrier. But yeah, again, Loftus-Cheek, decision-making, not looking up, not good enough in the final third. Just underwhelming, especially if Chelsea are trying to build this real super team. You know, you feel like you should cause more problems than he does.
Oh,
and there's another injury.
Just stop the season now.
Yeah, looks like a hamstring.
Just stop
or
the
a
season
thigh,
now.
Or actually, maybe even a groin. He's holding a bit of a
Paqueta and Aguerd injured in the same game. Are you having a laugh?
What's going on? I mean, you said at the beginning, you was like, I've had it with these injuries and stuff. Have you guys been plagued?
Yeah, we've been plagued all season. All season. Skamaka, Cornet, Zuma.
Big players.
We just can't get a break. It's
and
sickening.
now Paqueta, don't know how long he's going to be out for.
Yeah, we don't know.
And now Aguerd. Usually when it's muscular, when they're going my hammy or my groin or my thigh, you know, they're not good ones. They're not. You can't run them off. They're a good few weeks, depending on whether it's a tear or a strain.
The problem is with those muscle injuries, there's nothing you can do. You just have to. It's just time. It's just time.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot you can do.
He's off there, Reece James.
And we sold Dawson, to Wolves.
I know.
And we didn't
what goal he
replace
scored
him.
the other day, though?
We didn't replace him. And look, Johnson, that's it. Our back three is Obonna, Johnson and Kerr. Jeez.
It just wouldn't look like you guys could maybe be getting a bit of a foothold in this game, going towards creating something. It's really not an ideal time.
I
quite like Johnson, though. I like the kid. I think he's all right, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great kid. I think
How's he done?
He's a decent. The problem is he had a big injury, he missed quite a lot of last season. And then he sort of just moved around the back line.
Yeah, because he's a right back.
Yeah, but he also been played left
What's
back.
his actual position? Right back?
Right back, yeah. That's his main position. And now, obviously, he's going to be playing
No
centre
foul
back.
there. Well done, Souček. That's what you're there for, mate. Bit of a battering ram.
Emerson.
Flint Downs.
That's too late. Well, Emerson should run forward. Why are we just passing sideways?
Oh, he doesn't see him
move.
coming. Yes, he does. Declan Rice does. He does well there, but loses out in the end.
Throw in.
We'll take that. Luckily, doesn't lose possession, though.
What do you make of Conor Gallagher? I think another season on loan should have really.
Do you know what? Again, needs to find a home. It's like...
How old is he, though?
He's young. He's probably like, 21, 22?
Yeah.
Someone put that in the chat, or one of the producers to tell me, but I think he's
too old to have all these loan spells.
He's young, yeah. He's look, I think he done well in the first part of Palace of season last season. Then he dropped off a little bit. And I think with Chelsea going through so much change, there's an opportunity there to impress if he can. But as they start kicking on,
come on, we'll have
he's won that. There you go. As they start kicking on, you do worry. Coming into 81st minute now, Ziyech is just giving away a free kick on Danny Ings. Yeah, that definitely is a free kick. A chance for West Ham to put the ball into the box and create another scoring situation. Because, like I said, it did feel a bit 1-1-ish, and we're now in the 81st minute. And again, even since making the subs, little flashpoint from across, you know.
But you wonder, like, will people start trying more stuff? Will Declan Rice, Enzo Fernandez, will they start trying like long-range shots? Will they try and because they both need 3 points? So as they get a bit desperate, they move away from the game plan. That's when you move into sort of anything can happen territory.
High line here at the edge of the box from Chelsea. Emerson to swing it in.
Come on!
That's a great ball! Oh, and he's done it! Is it offside?
Please! Is it
It's offside. No, it's not.
I don't know if
it's
it is.
Souček!
I told you about Souček.
I told you, put respect on Souček's name. Put respect on Souček's name. And Chelsea look absolutely stunned. Todd Bowley's millions are getting burst by the West Ham bubbles. They will forever burn in bubbles. Is he offside?
I don't know if he is.
Is he offside? He's not offside
no,
there.
It is. It's the first phase.
It's the first phase.
I think.
Wow.
I think Rice might be offside.
There
for
is
that
a
first
big
one.
decision
Don't-
here.
Oh no! Don't do this to me.
Oh my God, it's a VAR check, and I tell you what,
I think Rice
this
might
is
be
going to be
offside.
ruled out. That's going to be ruled out.
Only Chilwell's arm.
That's going to be ruled out, Dan.
I don't know why they didn't show us the side angle. That's a terrible
Why
angle.
did I celebrate
Yeah.
with this VAR crap?
That's going to be off.
Yeah, look,
wait.
it's not that player though. It's
It's the
Declan
front,
Rice.
yeah.
It's Declan Rice behind.
There's
Ben
loads of
Chilwell.
arms out because everyone's trying to lean to obviously backpedal. This is going to be
I think
extremely
Declan- I
close.
think Declan
and
Rice is
after,
off.
and do you know what? After West Ham were robbed at the bridge that time with Mendy,
rob them now.
you
Come on.
just
Give it
want to
to
see
us.
this given.
Give it to us.
They look offside though, but this is the
Rice.
one where they put the line.
Rice is the one that hits the
Rice,
header for the first
Rice
phase.
is the one who headers it first.
Yeah.
So this is on Rice because the second phase, I don't think
Yeah,
Souček's offside.
The second phase, I think, is okay.
Is Rice offside? Oh, but obviously no. But this is the original one for when Emerson's playing the ball, because he could be offside from that, couldn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Rice gets his header on the ball first.
Oh, this is extremely tight. Dan, how you feeling? Talk
I
us through
feel
your emotions,
sick.
bro.
I feel sick. I feel sick to my
It's simple. I
stomach.
feel sick.
I feel sick, man.
There is a lot
Please.
of zooming in, moving the
If you
picture.
got to zoom in this much,
It's
don't
like
give
they're
it.
looking to not give it. And this is the thing with
Yeah.
VAR. These fine margins. It's offside.
Oh man! It's not. You know what? I can't
offside.
even. It's not even Souček's fault,
It's
man.
offside.
I still
Even
got
Potter's
to-
like, don't know. But it's offside. Oh, heartbreak for West Ham. An absolute let
You
off
should
for
have given it
Chelsea.
to us. Look what happened at the bridge. It's bullshit.
Chelsea
man.
fans giving it.
Oh, you.
I don't know why
nuts.
they've given it because they've been shit as well. yeah, but I mean,
But
yeah.
does that spur you guys on? You've got to take that. You've got to,
Or the other way round,
You've
Nick.
got to bury the disappointment and try to have that mentality.
heartbreak.
We've already scored one. We know we can do it now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, pick that bottle up.
Dan, I feel it for you, bro. I do feel it for you.
That's what I
because
mean. But if that's the other way round, it's given. I'm sorry. It's just hate it, man. I just hate it. VAR. I just
Wow.
despise
What
it,
a-
man.
that just would have been so beautiful to see
would have been
Chelsea
great.
lose in that fashion.
Would have been great.
And that's just my own personal opinion as a Man United fan, because I know you're going to say this is biased, this is a neutral show. But from my own personal opinion, I just don't want Chelsea to win. But, that was peak.
Oh man, I feel for Souček, man.
Yeah.
He hasn't been great this game at all. But
That's where he's effective, though. You know, big target man up top. That's where he's effective.
Chelsea
Yeah.
with a massive let off. And you know what? Fair play to West Ham, because you felt like if something was going to come, it was going to have to be a set piece or, a header, something from that. And Souček, man, how nice would it have been for him after all the hate you've been giving him?
yeah. That's it. I was ready to eat my
Yeah,
words. I mean,
but-
look, that doesn't take away from what else he's done in
Yeah,
the
of
game.
course,
but
of course.
you give him props for the
Absolutely.
goal.
But Nick, like you said, though, could it spur West Ham on? Could it have the other effect? Could it spark Chelsea to say, you know what, that was a lucky let-off and it is Chelsea on the attack here with Ziyech.
they win-
You know what he's going to be doing, crossing it in? Oh, I tell you
very
what, he had
nearly
to
a
get
similar
that.
goal to
he
the
had
last
to get
one.
that, Kehrer. Well done. It comes back to Ziyech. He does a similar cross and away from Johnson that time as well. West Ham really biting down on the gum shield here, trying to get through this little period as Chelsea try and turn the screw. 85th minute, 5 minutes left with added on time. Chelsea trying to probe, and you think Chelsea probably would come on strong now after getting away with it.
Before that cross, though, they really hadn't done a great
Ref.
deal.
Yeah, he's bought that.
the
Well
foul.
done, Downs. Well done. He's
Good
laughing
finish.
there because James knows he's bought that. He's bought that. Oh, mate. Unlucky Souček, man. Yeah, I think they're both off.
Yeah, but
Both
it's
off.
once,
Well, by the line they've drawn, they're both off.
But Souček would have been on once Rice made
Yeah,
contact
once he
with the ball.
played it, yeah, because it would have been a different phase.
Yes.
But you got to say Rice was just a little bit too eager to go. So even if he scores that, it would have been offside anyway.
Nice little tap in there. And
Oh, mate.
It's fine margins.
hate
Fine,
VAR
fine
so
margins.
much. I hate it.
I know. It is.
That's what's been so refreshing about playing in this conference
Oh,
league.
it's gone
There is
straight
What
out.
the
What?
on earth?
Straight out from
Fabianski has
Fabianski.
just spoon-footed
Are you
it
all right,
straight
mate?
out. He said sorry. I wasn't even looking. I just saw him have the ball ready to take the kick, and then I just saw the ball just...
My eyes
Ow.
were drawn to the right side of the pitch because that's
Yeah.
obviously where it's going, and then I didn't see the ball. Really weird.
Oh, my days.
I mean, geez, we're not going to win if you're putting them sort of balls out, mate.
I mean, a draw at home to Fulham, 0-0. Was that 0-0? 0-0.
Yep.
This is looking like potentially a 1-1 draw. When they did win a game, who was it against? Was it West Ham at the Bridge? Well, no, was it?
They must have won.
I
one
think they
since
won.
then.
Well done, Johnson. I think they won against somebody at the. I think it's Bournemouth, and it was like, okay, but it's Bournemouth. Chelsea's still just not doing enough. Just not doing enough. I know they need time. All of these things that we say. Well done.
Nice, Emerson.
Well done. Emerson's done well today as well. I know they need time, but if this ends up in a draw, again, you're just looking at Chelsea like more points dropped and just like looking flat. And the pressure is just mounting.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think Potter's going to feel a lot of that pressure. I'm still not convinced about how many of the signings are his. I don't believe that he
club
would have
signings.
gone from
Sorry,
Brighton,
Palace. Sorry. Yeah,
going from Brighton to Chelsea and want to be spending £300-500 million. You know, Chelsea fans try to convince me they're all his signings. He's on board, but I struggle to believe all that. But yeah, again, I don't know if they write off the season. Chelsea fans, you can tell me in the chat.
He's got through there. I tell you what, no.
That should have been a goal. That should have been a goal.
Conor Gallagher gets a shot off, and no.
That should have been a goal. He should not be able to strength his way through.
They want a handball. They want a handball. Chelsea
shut up,
players are
you
going
little
mad here.
monks.
They want a handball. Craig Pawson's shaking his head here.
Fools.
No, his hand's by his side, though. His hand's down, but it does hit Souček's hand here. Or does it hit his knee?
Is it your knee? Yeah,
does it hit his knee?
It might be the knee, you know.
I'll tell you what, it might be his knee, but if it does hit his hand, it is down by his side, but it would be clumsy. But I think it hit his knee. There is no VAR check.
The angle.
Carried on.
Fair enough.
Voice of Peter Walton probably saying, having a look at it here. I think the player's arm is close to his chest.
But it's
not a
used to
penalty
break
for
his
me.
fall.
Yeah.
Don't know why they always go to that EJ. He's so annoying.
Yeah, Peter Warren is basically whatever the ref has given, he was right.
And rightly so, go with the on-field decision. Shut up, man. Such an idiot. He's so annoying, Peter
Yeah, it's
Warren.
almost a waste of time going to him. Wait, what they do?
Oh, no.
Wait, what? Nah,
Does that
come
not hit his knee?
on.
I think that hits his hand.
Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah.
shit.
I thought they
Why they do that?
Corner. 89th
Souček.
minute.
You did say it's got
mate.
1-1 written all over it.
Yeah, I did say that.
Please.
And actually, on the
Come
Premier League
on.
preview that I done with Abby a couple of days ago, or yesterday, I can't remember. A couple of days ago, I predicted 1-1 for this, I believe.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm hoping
But I wouldn't mind a 2-1.
Yeah,
West Ham, mate. Wouldn't mind a 2-1 West Ham.
It's just because of the players that they play with, Chelsea. When you see them do anything that looks a little bit impressive, you think, oh my God.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's gone high.
Come on.
Finn Downs coming across
Keep it
to
alive.
rescue it.
Keep it alive.
The two players with fresh
Go
legs
back,
down
surely.
versus Gallagher.
Yeah, don't lose it here, mate. Go back to the keeper, mate.
Yeah, just
just
go
go back, and then you just take a touch and hit it.
5
minutes added on time.
Jeez.
5 minutes. Is there 5 minutes for a winner here, or would you take a point now and get out, or do you want to see this through and go for it? Do you smell blood?
What's this, deal or no deal?
Yeah, exactly. I'll just bring up the banker.
Do you know what? I feel like,
It's a free kick, surely.
Joe, let's go for it. Winner.
He's given a free kick here. Well,
That's a dangerous spot, man. Come on,
This is a dangerous free kick. Well done to
we want Ben
Jared
Rama,
Bowen
really.
here. Yeah, exactly. He
feel
takes on
that-
Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell get wrong side, and that is a free kick.
a
It's very
foul, yeah.
clumsy from Ben Chilwell. He's going nowhere there on his right foot as well, Bowen. He would have to be on,
please.
and he panics and brings him down. So this is where in-swinger Jared Bowen surely to take with his left foot.
Come on, Souček.
Souček,
Souček's
back
going to be
post.
throwing himself at this.
Oh,
Get your nut on it, Ogbonna. Declan Rice, Captain Marvel.
yeah.
Could it be?
anyone, mate?
Does it drop to Danny Ings, maybe?
Danny Ings, poacher.
Oh, yes. Just
You know
little
what I mean?
tap in, back post. Come on.
Nervous times for Chelsea fans,
Is that
mate.
Emerson taking that?
I think it probably will be a left footer.
I think it's Ogbonna. I mean,
Yeah, that's
I know.
Emerson.
Yes, Emerson,
Yeah, it is,
yeah.
yeah.
They want a
He's
left
got
footer.
a good delivery as well.
Right, just...
What are you
He
saying?
did
Low
with the
across
last
the
one.
floor and try something?
I think he's going
Stand
to put it in
up.
the air with the
Whip
players
it, it's really
we've got.
close.
Where's
It is
Souček?
just
Souček's on the post.
coming in from Emerson. He hangs it up. And away by Badia
Oh,
Shields.
man.
Oh, don't want to head it there.
Second, it's
well
it's
done.
terrible
That's it,
header.
Johnson.
Go home. Go all the way
I
home.
don't know if he...
Yeah, that's
Does that
fine.
pass make
Just
it?
get rid of that.
The
Yeah,
keeper's
it's fine.
very deep.
Nah, he's all right.
Oh, man. I thought we could have done more. with
Bonner's
that.
still up there.
Come on, win it, Ings.
Bonner's still up there, mate. He's playing Bonner up front.
Oh, Bonner's like, I ain't running all
well
that
done,
way
Johnson.
back. He can't be bothered to
Well done. Use his
make the
body
journey
well
back.
there, Ings.
He's quite a physical player.
Do you know what? I think on the balance of play,
I think draw's fair.
A draw's probably fair.
Yeah.
I think,
I'll say
Chelsea, I think it's easy to say Chelsea maybe deserve more because they got, like you said, the flashy players and little neat touches and all that.
They ain't done much in the
what have they
second
done?
half,
What
especially
have they done?
second
Exactly.
half,
What
they
saves
ain't
has Fabianski had to make? Apart from Madueke from a left-footed shot in the first half. Second half, he had to come out to kind of clear it with his foot, but it wasn't a save. Fabianski's had to do nothing. And equally, Kepa's not really had to make a save.
Come on, Jared.
And there's a disallowed goal for an offside. So a draw is probably a fair result. That's a good
Go
ball.
on,
that.
Bowen.
That's a
That was
very
great
good
from
ball.
Johnson.
Plays it first
He tries
time.
to drill it across.
Okay, fair
That's
enough.
okay.
But also though, it's looking like West Ham being the aggressors in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, as you'd expect. Do you know what I mean? Because a point really just doesn't do much for them. They need to be racking up 3
Exactly.
points. They're probably more desperate for 3 at this point than Chelsea.
Or is he going to go long throw?
He's probably going to have to go long at this time.
Yeah,
There's West Ham fans there,
That's
mate.
That's me, mate. Honestly.
Long throw coming in from Kufal. Has a long throw. Plenty queuing up to head it.
some jump
Thiago
for it,
Silva
man.
does it.
Suchek
Suchek keeps it
second.
alive. Put back into the mixer by Kufal again.
Good touch. Come on.
Away by Reece
Someone
James.
get on it. Come on.
Very messy now.
I feel
Well
like we
done,
miss.
Johnson,
This is where
Johnson,
we
yeah.
miss Antonio in these situations, man.
Yeah,
Big time.
exactly. Dan, is this a good point? I know Nick was saying it doesn't really do much for West Ham, but against Chelsea at home from a losing position, they've given the man of the match to Enzo Fernandez.
I'm not sure about
Not
that.
sure about
that's-
that, but then again, in a flat game, who is? We'll talk about that in a sec. But would this be, fingers crossed, the last couple of minutes play out? But would this be a good point?
Look, I've said from Newcastle, Chelsea, Spurs, I want at least 4 points. If we beat Chelsea, if we beat Spurs, then
Oh, that's terrible.
The fans are going
That's
crazy in the
terrible.
stands.
That's a
He's given a
terrible-
free kick there
Wow.
against Bowen. They're both running to the ball. He's tripped up Felix, but
joke. Let's have a look again.
sorry, Chilwell.
Oh, he fell over! He fell over!
That's a terrible.
You
foul.
cheat!
That is
What a
awful.
cheat! You see what I mean? Chelsea have all their money paying off these officials. Todd Bowley, mate. Let's end that investigation to Man City. Let's get into Chelsea. Come on, they're joking.
That was a terrible foul.
He's
Joke
not having
of
it,
a
mate.
club.
That is not happy. That is
The
not
guy
happy.
fell over and you blow up for a free kick. Are you mad? But yeah, man, look, you take it. It's not like the worst case scenario, but I really wanted to win this game and I thought we had an opportunity to win it. I don't think Moyes' substitutions really done us many favours. I thought taking off Antonio was wild. And Ings hasn't really been able to get into the
Couldn't get
game.
into the game, no.
He
Well,
doesn't.
make sure you see this out, though.
The thing is, Ings isn't a target man, and with all the
No,
balls up
he
in the
needs to be
air and all
running in
that,
behind
you
and,
need
yeah.
someone with him. You
Yeah.
know, you definitely need to try and get them playing together. The gamble then being you might not have anything to come off the bench at all if things don't work out. But
Yeah. 5 seconds left. Surely that is it. It's looking like it's going to be a 1-1 draw with just Craig Pawson takes a look at his watch, ready on to blow the whistle, and he does so. And the final score is West Ham 1, Chelsea 0.
Wait, what?
West Ham get a massive point, I think.
1-1. 1-1.
1-1.
said Chelsea nil.
Sorry, West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. We wish it was that. Sorry, West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. In a draw at the London Stadium, and Chelsea from a winning position couldn't do enough to go and get a second and dominate the game. Disappointing for them, but being in a losing position because we have got a West Ham fan here. How are you feeling?
Yeah, when you
after
put it in
that?
the context we came from behind to get the point, it's good. I mean, it hurts because we had that goal ruled out, that winner, and I fully let myself get into the emotion of that goal. So I'm still feeling the hurt from that. But Newcastle, Chelsea, 2 points from those games. Considering how bad we've been this season,
Yeah,
we dug deep, and it's just the big issues with this game is losing Paqueta and Aguerd.
yeah, because going forward that's going to be a big miss.
That's huge. Like, we're just supposed to be getting Zuma back, and then we lose Aguerd.
Yeah,
And it's our luck. Our bad luck continues, man. And Moyes is going to have to dig deep because we got some tough games. Like I said, we go away to Spurs next.
yeah.
And
They don't come any easier.
No, exactly.
They don't come any easier.
They don't.
Before we wrap up, just from a Chelsea perspective, as obviously the neutral watching them, where do you think they go from here, and what kind of scrutiny do you think will be on them before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure how Enzo got man of the match there. To be
Yeah,
honest with you, but
Shows how crap the game was.
But yeah, it's just I still don't think that Graham Potter's the manager for this team, for this situation with all the players that they got, the star players that they got, etc. I think that they need someone of a bit more of a high caliber to manage them. They didn't come out, like I said, mark of a manager, you want to see them go in at half time and come out of a reaction. The reaction wasn't really there. So, big question marks there.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Thanks for watching us. The guys on the Saturday Football Show will be straight on after us, taking you through all the 3 p.m. kickoffs. They are waiting in the wing, chopping at the bit for maybe another upset at the Emirates for Brentford against Arsenal. Is there going to be an upset on the cards there, or are Arsenal going to bounce back? You know what I mean? Is there going to be an upset for Tottenham? Are Tottenham going to bottle it after Harry Kane is reigning supreme over North London as Tottenham's greatest ever goal scorer? Or are they going to get slapped back down to earth by Brendan Rodgers?
He's got the record. Just chill.
Exactly. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And don't go anywhere because the Saturday Football Show is up next. We're out of here. Peace.